Welcome to Stories to D4. I'm Matthew, and tonight I'll be your Dungeon Master. Before we get started, I only have a couple of brief announcements. So as you know, we've been participating in the Tournament of Blades, a huge competition that our heroes have been fighting versus all sorts of monsters and heroes, just for finding some gold and glory. That tournament is coming to a close, and with it, we're taking a little bit of a break after this week. This session, we've got a full session planned for tonight, and some fun twists and turns along the way. But we'll be taking the next 2 Fridays off, which means we're not going to see you again until December. That being said, I'm really excited that you've decided to come and join us for tonight's adventure. With that, Alex, why don't you bring me out to the table? Say hello to everybody. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
How have you guys been?
Good.
Pretty good.
Last week was a stressful fight.
Yeah.
We had Alex, man over here who's controlling our stream studio OBS over here. Got to play. It was kind of exciting. It was a risky fight in a lot of ways. We had someone fall.
Yep. I honestly thought Cole was gonna make us lose. I thought he was gonna do something dumb that was gonna make us lose.
Yeah, I was a little worried. Just a little.
We talked a little bit about peeks behind the screen. How sometimes it's fun to. I don't reveal most of my mechanics for boss fights and stuff until normally 6 months later. Mm-hmm. But I feel like in this case, because it's such a unique thing with Tournament of Blades, I can talk a little bit about it. So the dragon was willing to. I'll write a tactics kind of plan, what the motivations of your enemies are. Mm-hmm. With Gythrax the Loyal, his intent was once one person was down, the next goal was to take down the actual noble. So that was the general game plan, is remove either the person dealing the most damage or a healer. And so in that case, we had 2 of you, spoilers, the 2 of you who went lowest, that ended up being the main targets in that fight at first. And sometimes there is targeting, but I think it's important as a dungeon master to talk to your players, and you at home, you should think about this too, to kind of make sure it's, you cleared the air, make sure people know. Amanda, you weren't the target as a general rule, but in this fight, you were the advantageous person to go after. And similarly, killing the wizard is often the right decision.
Kill the wizard.
Kill the wizard. Certainly with my all of the parties that these players have made, whenever I make wizards, they make a real quick beeline to that wizard.
I'm going to say that you have failed in your mission so far.
Had a pretty good
Is
wizard
that a challenge?
Don't challenge the DM. That seems like a bad idea.
We don't really have an adversarial relationship. We just pretend to.
I believe in you. I think it's Meanie can survive.
Don't feed him.
I believe in it. I think it's Meanie can die.
Usually I get quiet. We get quiet. We issue the challenge, then we let it sit. So
I'm so sorry.
Just let it simmer a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Kill the wizard.
Turn it down to low, put the lid on it,
You are all pretty wizardy.
Yeah, you're going to have a hard time targeting the singular magic user because there isn't one.
That's true.
I will say, one thing at our tables is it's very rare in a long-form campaign to have a pure, non-magical character. I think that in general, hearing your characters, your backups to the backups, there's almost always at least a third casting, a dip into a full spellcasting class. Just because you guys in particular like that. And so we kind of frame our stories with that in mind. We've got a couple of one-shots we've discussed in the pipeline that would be much more non-magical. Excuse me. But it's good to vary things up every once in a while. Now, all I have left before I can do my recap is the crit corner. But before that, does anyone have anything else they'd like to add before we get started?
No.
Well, Connor, how'd we do last week?
Did pretty well. Yeah. Not a whole lot of nat ones. I only rolled the singular nat 1.
Only one?
Yeah.
None for...
Is me.
Was our guest on the chart?
No.
This is tragic. I'm so sorry, Alex. You rolled the peaks or valleys.
Elle and Ismini both had 1 natural 20 apiece. Mai had 2 natural 20s, and I also had 2 natural 20s.
I wasn't on the board?
You're not on the board.
Did you roll us?
I thought I crit
No,
you.
you crit once.
I crit you.
Well, it's not on here, so it didn't happen.
Oh.
If it's not on your character sheet, it doesn't exist. I'm sorry.
And if it's not in Connor's journal, it's not canon. Strangely enough, remember, Adon, that guy way back, he never wrote about him, so Adon doesn't canonically exist quite yet.
else. I don't know who this Adon person you're speaking of. He's been dead for 80 years.
Just shows up on the doorstep. Who are you?
Oh, hey. It's been a while, hasn't it?
I totally forgot.
Well, I can't handle it.
Oh, no, they can't. Let's talk about what happened last time so we can start our session. When last we met, our heroes participated in the third round of the Tournament of Blades. This time, the challenge was set forth by Gythrax the Loyal, this massive, powerful copper dragon and one of the most powerful defenders of the Kingdom of Issel. In this challenge, our players were tasked not only with defeating Gythrax himself, but also protecting a strange nobleman known as Cole, Lord of the Viawood. This man, strange, deranged, and with his own special form of martial arts, sort of took a very lead from the front stance during the battle with Gythrax, diving directly into the dragon's acidic breath weapons and claws alike. However, our heroes, using a combination of dragon riding and a fair bit of support spells, were able to keep themselves up and alive and eventually take down the dragon. Sadly, before they were able to win their challenge, Mai fell in battle. Though her life was spared by the magics of the tournament, Mai was eliminated from the Tournament of Blades. Our party took some time to return to the camp, rest, heal their wounds, and now they've all been invited to the Champions Feast. All of the heroes, as well as their companions, who have made it to the final 16 in the Tournament of Blades, have been invited to a place known as the Etched Citadel, home of the Sanctum of Issel, the council that rules over the northern lands. Our party found themselves in a fine carriage going through the city, hearing sounds of festivals and partying, and a lot of drunken merriment along the way. Our heroes, Relnor excluded, have now left the carriage and are walking along the beautiful steps outside of the Etched Citadel, this sort of tower-like castle in the heart of the Runehold. Just a quick reminder, this castle surrounded on the outside by a sizable circular wall, not too far outside of the courtyard. You all make your way inside the castle and see a fine feast has been prepared. A good dozen or so of these large tables set about the room as you all get ready to bump elbows with the nobility of our continent. And that's where we're going to start our session, with all of you sort of entering this large party. Mai, Laurentius, Ismene, and Elle. The four of you, as well as Princess Josephine, are now walking in. You hear the sounds of people cheering. There's not just kings and queens here. You can see that there are some of the more local nobility here. You see that several of the tables around the room, one in the north, one in the east, one in the west, and one in the center, are adorned with all sorts of colorful filigree, fine tablecloths of different bright colors and made of expensive dyes. You see close to the front of the room, you see several nobles are standing by a large cask, just taking turns filling up their tankards and raising their glasses to some new thing to praise at the moment. Getting maybe a little more sloshed than they should be. You see a pair of them, presumably seemingly the most excited of the group. One of them is this sort of humanoid sort of man, save for the small horns jutting out of the top of his head and a slight shade of bluish purple along one side of his face. He raises his glass, clinking it against Cole, that familiar man from last session, and takes a long swig from his drink and continues. Kind of gazing about the room. Why don't we start the session off with dice rolls? Can I get like a perception check from everyone?
Did everyone else assume we would never see Cole ever again?
A little bit, yeah.
Strangely, Cole's not going to be very talkative tonight.
Fair.
We landed and held on like this. It's wild.
Go around the table this way. Just quick perception.
It's gonna be a good solid 5 for me.
Hey, we love 5s. Multiples of them, but like... Victoria?
8.
Okay, an 8 for his meanie.
23. Why can't y'all roll?
Well, this is
I'm
you're
not
really good.
I'm not perhaps wise.
Thorn, do I even need to know yours?
I got an 8.
All right, so the 3, I would say that
What do our elves eyes see?
it isn't so much that you guys are blind. It's more, as you're walking in, you just can't help but take in this tiefling human man just, "Oh, this is the greatest ale I've had in a fortnight. Papa will simply have to tell me who made this." Oh. As he takes a long sip out of his drink. Takes a long sip of his drink, kind of distracting some of the party. As you kind of gaze around, I'm gonna give you kind of the general lay of the land, paint you a word picture a little bit here for
Sounds
a second.
good.
Now, actually, before I get started, if there's something, actually, I'm tripping over myself. I'm gonna describe this, but also because you rolled so well, if there's something specific you're looking for, I'll add more information to that.
Okay.
So kind of gazing around the room, you can see that there are clearly 4 main tables that have been set up for the champions, the people who will be participating in the upcoming challenge over the next few days, as well as their accompaniment. So you're as praised as the rest of the Defiant Smiles as you enter here. People excitedly calling out as you pass. You see nods from people in fine silken gowns as you're entering. It looks like one of the tables is adorned with these brilliant blues of the Kingdom of Issel, where you now reside. One to the far side, you can see is actually got this strange sort of, it looks like it has gold thread that has been woven into some of the needlework of the tablecloth, and a pair of these large spikes and trios and mounted to each of the corners of the table, matching Boros's helmet. This kind of very aggressive sort of thing, as Boros's band does account for 3 of the top 16. Similar to the Defiant Smiles, a good number of them have made their way through. The table seems to be set aside for you, has a brilliant red representing the southern kingdoms. For yours, else. And finally, in the center of the room, you can see this kind of almost, I would like to say, not a rainbow, but several gradients of greens, yellows, tans, and browns, but like in a sort of sweeping, blending kind of motion. This last one, you can see already seated there are 2 faces you've seen before. You see Lord Eridan the Thunderbrand, though it does not seem he's currently armed. And you also see the white dragonborn Kazar, who's another one of the champions here. So those are the champions tables. You also can see that spread around the room are several more of these long wooden tables with much more simple tablecloths here. More muted than what the champions have themselves. At the far end of the room, you do see seated the halfling king Sigurd, and to his side, his elven wife, Queen Liara. So you can see that some of these people who are sitting here are kings and queens of some of these nations. Others, wealthy merchants who've bought their way into the Champions Feast. Now, is there anything in particular you, Amanda, would like to know?
I was kind of looking, does anybody have any holy symbols on them? Is there anybody?
Let me look at the guest list. It's a very fun one. You can also kind of poke your friends if you need anything else here. When it comes to holy symbols, 23, huh? I'm going to give you... Roll me a d6.
A 1.
A 1. I'll give you 2 of these. First, you see on the far side of the room, seated close to where your table will be, is a dark-skinned older woman with this. She's got her sort of, that bluishness you can see as some for like gray silver hair that is bound up into a very tight braid that is like sort of lopsided somewhat and braided back into the side of her hair. You see that she, while still wearing somewhat fine attire here, does still bear a pauldron on one of her shoulders, and it appears that at her side there is still a sheathed sword that is leaned against the table. She does bear on her neck the symbol of the Morning Lord. The one other, I'll actually have to ask for a religion check for this, is you do see on the far side of the room this...
13.
13. Good news, bad news, sort of here. You do see on the far side of the room there is a dragonborn, a red dragonborn, and what appears to be a holy symbol that is sort of like an elongated diamond, though the god or goddess is not familiar to you.
Okay.
That's fair. There's a lot of people here is the shorter way of wording this. There are probably about 80 or so folks here, not counting the various soldiers that are walking around. There's a couple of knights that are standing in position, greeting people. There's not a very tense atmosphere in here. This is very... We're here to get drunk.
I have a question that's completely not about what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Going forward, I have an animal companion. Do I get to use my animal companion? Do I need to make a garland for Roundwork because he's a champion?
Is it like a? I assume it's like a service animal-esque like exception.
Do I
like,
get to use Roundnor going forward?
like
this
magic
informs
familiar
some-
Oh, you mean
allowed?
I was like,
Yeah,
what?
in the tournament.
You meant in the tournament?
Yeah.
Yes. All Beastmasters have this.
I'm glad I don't
Is that,
find
your,
it speedy.
is that your subclass of your wizard? Is Beastmaster?
For non-familiar
Those are minor.
companions, you are only allowed a single one. So you can still have your familiar.
Okay.
Yes.
Non-familiar companions, I can only have one. Mike, get over here. I'm gonna bring a cleric.
This is my
My emotional support cleric.
I need one.
for when I get hurt emotionally or physically.
You start singing a whole bunch of healing words in the middle of a tournament.
Close your eyes and point.
Yeah.
See what it hits.
So what would you all like to do? Do you want to walk around and mingle, go find your way to your table? Someone you're looking for?
Are there any games going on? Dice, cards? I don't care. Throwing knives at the wall?
Over close to the northern champion table, you notice that there are looks like 5 or 6 dwarves that are crowded around the adjacent table. These dwarves all appear to be wearing thick plate armor. They're not matching. They don't look like they're part of the exact same military or knightly order. But you can't help but, as you're walking over, you see briefly one of them pulls something out of a container, this long, slimy, green-looking object, and places it down. A few moments later, one of the dwarves nearly collapses onto the table, and then stands up, and you hear the rest of the dwarves just cheer out, "Hey!" Some sort of activity is happening there.
That looks like fun. And it's my other brothers, my dwarven brothers. I'm gonna go hang out
Your
with them.
you're gonna hang out with your dwarven brothers for a little
Yeah.
bit? Yeah. Okay, I like that. We're gonna hold there just to see what everyone else is doing, then we'll come back to that. What about everybody else? What all would you like to do?
Might want to go talk with the person with the Morning Lord symbol.
Oh, okay. I like that a lot. Taking a little bit of time, kind of pushing your way through the crowd here. Again, I'm gonna pause on this here and just see what the last 2 members of our party would like to do.
I don't know yet.
You want to chill out for a little bit?
I'm gonna just scan the room.
I'll let you keep your head on a swivel.
Keep my head on a swivel for familiar threats.
I will let you know just with your passive stat plus maybe my pointed this out with her high check. Sitting over at your table already, one of their boots, huh?
Norm?
Norn is there, Amanda. Yeah. Sitting with one of their boots on the table is Norn, the guild master of the Ashen League.
That son of a bitch.
Great. I'm
This
gonna
is
Boots on the table.
most immediate threat to you. The champion table itself is probably still like 15, 20 feet long.
I guess his boots don't have any holes in them, do they?
No, they have these
They
really
could.
big.
Good.
Sons of bitches.
They've got like, I don't want to say bronze. It's a little bit too light to be bronze. It looks like some sort of magical alloy. You're not certain on surface glance what it's made of.
I'll go sit across from him.
Is he need to know the sound of war? Okay.
I feel like you're about to pull out and start
You go
dealing cards.
sit down near Norn. What we'll do is I think we'll come back to you as everyone else is.
Oh
colored.
yeah.
Is that okay?
That's totally fine.
I like that a lot. And then Elle, do you know what you'd like to do?
Well, I didn't see anyone around the room with my 5, I'm guessing.
No, not really.
Not really. Is there dancing?
There can absolutely be dancing. I like that a
Still
lot.
have music. Of course there's dancing.
There's a lot of loud music here.
I will offer a hand to jam and dance.
Okay, this is causing
need you to do me a
international
favor.
incident.
I know.
Lilie, I need you to do me a favor and make me a persuasion check and tell me what you're saying.
Don't you know that I like almost never roll these persuasion checks?
I know. What do you say to Jam?
Want to dance?
Okay. Simple, clean, that's
Simple.
totally fine. Probably doesn't impart any sort of penalty on here.
No, definitely not. I don't know how well I did. It's gonna be a math 20. I do have a +6 to this.
Of course, it is the day. This evening we celebrate you as and the other smiles. With that, you take Jam's hand in yours and walk out to the dance floor. You can see that over in the center of the room, just in front of the one of the champions' tables, the one with the sort of foreign champions, people not from Gren, are seated here. There's already a small group of people who are here that are dancing. Some of them taking into the vibes from the relatively fantastic bard group they've brought in for this. You can see some people are being a little more modest, doing these little medieval square dance nonsense they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of like hand touching and walking around each other,
Very
whereas other people are just doing the Silas or the Lox.
Inescapable.
Inescapable.
It's literally reached the rune hold.
It's been halfway across the continent.
Yeah.
It's a pandemic.
True meme status.
But you go ahead and begin dancing over there with Princess Josephine.
I also would like to cause international incidences. I can't enunciate.
All right,
I'm
we're
sorry.
gonna go back mostly in that order, although we're gonna end this meeting as all of you are coming back to this meeting. Because then we'll have like the event formally begin. Laurentius. You see that standing around this table were these, I'm gonna call it 5 dwarves. It looks like you can tell that one of them, who has this sort of long, very dirty blonde hair, like almost khaki is kind of where I would think about putting it. Clearly is just overseeing, watching the rest of these 4 dwarven men take turns pulling these weird green. It looks like something you pull out of a vegetable or a fruit, or maybe even a bug of some sort. It's a very weird, long, thin, green, slimy strand.
Yeah, I've had those come out of my nose.
Oh, that's gross.
I call them
Nasty.
nose goblins.
Nasty.
But now that you're closer, you can see that they're not actually canisters. They're cracking open the shell of something and pulling the innards out from this strange, like long beetle. And you watch as each of them go, all right. One of them tries to try to swallow one of these things whole and coughs up the thing, and you hear the other just start jeering at him in Dwarvish.
Nudge the khaki guy and say,
You see 3 dwarves turn and look at you.
"What are the? What's the deal? What's happening here? What do I get if I eat that? That guy couldn't do it. I can do it.
You?
Yeah.
The khaki guy, as you put it, leans back and stops for a moment, thinking to himself with a wry sort of smile. His armor, this bronze glittering piece with a trio of rubies towards the top of it.
I'll kind of
like
just
gleaming in the light.
like pull my jacket aside and show off my armor a little bit too.
Oh, okay. I like that a lot. Suppose I've watched 3 of my 4 men here, been unable to successfully eat one single rotworm.
Rotworm.
Great name.
What you looking for, champion?
Well, it seems like they're doing that for a reason. What's the point of it? Is it just for the clout, or do I get something?
You just made up the word
I
cloud.
was kidding.
I have to deal with that forever.
I'm gonna say clout so much now. Thank you, Connor.
Yeah, you've opened the door for all
Clout
of us.
and rodeo.
Well, suppose if you could go more rounds than this one here. He points at one of the dwarves, the one who successfully ate a rotworm, the innards from it beforehand. You see this dwarf, bulbous features. He's got these really big. He got a huge mustache. It's really impressive. You can faintly smell the mustache oil he uses. It smells really expensive.
Yeah, citrusy, nice.
Citrusy, very good.
Nice.
All right, well, just happen to have one of these. He pulls out a single ingot of what looks to be steel and places it on the table. You beat this one. You can take that with you. It's from my house.
I like it.
I'll say it after you do this challenge.
You actually sending
I re-
telepathic
is-
messages to
Do I feel the eyes of his meanie boring into the side of my head?
I'm happy to say yes to this if you'd like.
Are we at the level where we can have a telepathic
You
mind?
literally have that ability, yes.
Not yet.
Oh, do you not?
It's next level or 5th level spell. What's up?
Make the worm taste better.
Smart.
What's he doing?
I just drink this red wine and it's really weird. It's messing with. Anyways, what do I do? How do I crack it? How do I prepare? Salt it first.
Show him.
Do I bite a lime? Like, how do I do this?
You watch as the large, so the dwarf, your competitor, this Gimdin, you watch as he takes out one of these beetle-looking carapaces, cracks the end of it, pulls this green tube thing out of it, and swallows it whole. He sits there. You watch as he squeezes his fists together, grimacing. Holds. It's you've had a drinking competition. This is just grosser.
Oh, okay.
It's the Can You Eat Worms movie, basically, right? The worms movie where you eat worms?
Fried green tomatoes?
Fried green worms? Fried worms?
Fried worms.
How to eat fried worms? There we got.
There we
got
go.
it. We got it.
I knew
Y'all
fried green
say
tomatoes would
words
get us
sometimes.
there.
Yeah.
It's like a popular movie.
Yeah.
No.
How to eat fried worms?
How do you eat
Nope.
fried worms? And it's a
The
book.
name rings
It's
a
a
bell.
book too.
Softly.
Yeah.
We all read it in like 4
Try to recreate the process of cracking it and pulling out the.
Sure, that part's really easy. You've had gross food before.
Yeah.
You've got a hearty stomach.
You ain't Gwynwyn's cooking.
You ate Gwynwyn's cooking.
Did.
Honestly,
We apparently all got superpowers from it.
I will allow you to
We've
think
used
back
it.
on Gwynwyn's cooking for one of these rounds and give yourself advantage.
Okay.
Here's how it's going to work. Each time it gets harder,
Yeah.
but we're both going to fail. So he's 2 in.
Yeah. I'll try.
You want to use it in the first one?
Yeah. Ooh, probably need it. But that's a 17.
17. You crack this first one open. As you drop it into your mouth, some of it hits your tongue slightly, and you've never felt a combination of bitter and spicy and sour before. But it's not a quiet flavor. If you're still in Ismini's mind, with a 17, you yell and curse him.
Flinch a little.
Norn absolutely just kind of looks at you and goes, huh. Kind of a little smirk as watching you across the table. Norn said nothing so far.
Right,
I
that
know.
was the most disgusting thing I've ever had. And I
The-
have had Gwynwyn's cooking.
The blonde dwarf looks back. All right, you done?
That's one.
You can quit while you're ahead.
Number
You
2.
want to enjoy the festivities. You don't want to ruin your appetite.
Number 2.
Okay, trying to go even with Gimdin. I like
Can
to hear
I
it.
subtle spell cast prestidigitation on this? Try to make it taste better?
What are the components of prestidigitation? The subtle spell gets rid of
Verbal and somatic.
verbal and somatic. So are there material components from prestidigitation?
I don't believe so, but let me check.
If there's not, the answer is yes.
No, verbal and somatic.
You misspend sorcery points to do this. Yes.
Okay. I will spend one.
Laurentius. The power of this food here. It's potent. Your spell's not omnipotent. Roll with advantage on this save.
Okay. I'll take it.
As you try your best, what do you think of? What are you trying to flavor it as?
Worse. Just like, I don't know. I'm like a pork guy, I guess, as Laurentius. So probably just like a nice pork flavor. Bacon.
Much like a terrible ratatouille, the moment the worm touches your tongue, you were brought back to a moment in your childhood when you snuck downstairs into the cellar below the inn with your father didn't know, grabbed a bit of meat and tried to consume it, not realizing this had been left out for a while, already spoiled, ready to be used for fertilizer. This is about that bad, but you hold here.
Okay.
Sorry, I could see your dice.
Okay, cool.
The person in front of you, this other dwarf, kind of looks. What's he gonna do with a bit of cleanse steel, anyways?
I don't know. Might need a little helmet to go along with this breastplate.
The man kind of bemusedly just stares at you. The dark-haired dwarf here, Gimden. You got a good smith?
Maybe. You know a guy?
I don't want to respond to maybe.
All of a sudden, my ego dies across the room.
And Finjan, back in Elf,
Finjan.
doubles over in pain.
Hey, I'm looking to make connections here.
And also, you know a guy.
Can't let you make a crappy helmet. He's in crack about a third one and look to you. You doing it as well? Mm-hmm. How about a third one? Both try to swallow this.
Prestidigitation, subtle spell.
Where's my other?
You got some different
How do I
D20s.
use
You need to use different D20s. Yeah, you use the same one.
Do you need to use a bicycle? Are you out?
No, I have one. I'm gonna use it.
Man, I love the way we decide to use these.
Why did ask some
Force
combat,
points,
but it...
inspiration. You're not gonna lose this random piece of metal from a dwarf.
I know.
Truly a
You
random
keep
piece
like
of
you
metal.
keep like a joke one around, right? Like you usually keep one.
I always keep one around. Okay, not much better. 14.
14. Laurentius. You begin doubling over, doing everything you can to hold this down. As you're like fighting your own gag reflex, this horrible smell rises through your nose. The bile, you taste the dirt this thing once crawled through. I will make one more save here, knowing that if you fail again, you're gonna be out of this. As you trying holding this in, you can see this dwarf looking at you all smugly, like knowing you're gonna fold. You're gonna fold.
24.
You come back up with a big old grin. Are you cracking another?
Yeah.
We go. You crack another. I'm gonna make a wisdom save to see if Gimden's willing to go again. Connor, you can see this, right?
Oh, jeez.
That is a natural one.
I'll write that down.
All right. Theodod, give him the medal.
Worth it.
You see this. The dwarf takes this ingot. It's not very large. This is a very small amount of metal. It's a elongated rectangle, and you see on it is a series of dwarven runes that you can't read dwarven, correct?
Yeah, I can.
You can.
Well, I can speak Dwarven, but I mean.
This says Clan Lightrock of Gorbury.
Oh, Light Rock. That's fun.
This is.
That's fun.
It is when as you now read the steel in your
That's a
hand.
fun callback.
Did you hear Fearrod and Gimden?
You are.
Not go like-
Yeah, we've met people before. It's fine. This is the. This is the clan steel, meaning the steel from the family forge, essentially. It's important culturally to dwarves. Of King Fearod Lightrock of Gorbury.
Why did you put some of those powerful dwarves in the corner eating worms?
Because he knew this one.
I'm sorry. If they were playing games, it's the dwarves. They're seeing who has the strongest gut.
They know how to have a good time.
Yeah.
I guess I did that a lot last
You
week.
did
You
so
did it
much.
so often. I'm surprised Finland's not in this corner.
I will thank them for the friendly competition. And are the drinks here? Are they comps or?
He points you out.
Well, I wanted to buy them around the drinks, but if they're comped, then
You can expense it later.
you guys validate parking too. I'm double parked.
Oh my god. Double carriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to spend a little bit of time, you can chat with these dwarves a little bit, but it does seem like
Dumping the wood on my carriage.
you're kind of told a little bit that, you learn a little bit about their home, but not much. They're kind of closed here. Mostly you get to know the other dwarves at the table who appear to be up-and-coming knights, and this was hazing. If we're being honest, I guess I just showed a hazing, but if a king does it, it's a different thing, I guess.
Are we really gonna make it
hazing?
You won the hazing.
I won.
Despite not being a dwarf.
Despite not being a dwarf.
No,
Not even
we're brothers.
They do not call you brother, but
I call
slightly-
them brothers.
They are quite impressed, but they do keep switching to dwarven when talking to each other.
And I listen, and I know exactly what they say.
You do. There's some gentle mocking, but it's honestly mostly positive.
Yeah, sweet.
Let's
I got an in with
continue on our
Light
way.
Rock over here.
You always do
Yeah, it's consistent.
I'm sorry, you're going to get drunk?
No, I said I got an in with Clan Light Rock.
Okay.
He always walks in and meets the most important people instantly.
Making your way across the room,
Ew, never brought the people for me.
you head over towards the woman seated close to the northerners' tables. You see this human woman, probably late 50s, early 60s. She's an elderly woman, though you can tell just by the definition in the top portion, like her neck and shoulders, you can see this person has maintained a lot of physical strength with their age. She sits at the table with this sort of there's not we don't think about this often. There's not normal silverware in most fantasy. It's like you're using a pronged knife, or you're using a two-pronged fork or a knife to hold things. See, she's sort of idly poking into this horde of potatoes before her, and just kind of absent-mindedly eating. Looks a little bit bored here before you step up to join her. Oh, good evening.
Nine's blessings be upon you.
Oh, yes. Blessing upon you too. I apologize. She sits up straight and proper. I don't have much love for these sorts of events, but congratulations to you for your work and for your friends as well. I'm sure it's difficult to be out of the challenge now, but from what I saw,
would rather that. I'd rather not fight my friends.
She kind of smiles to herself and nods. I completely understand that, and I think I and several others, I'm going to speak for several others here and say, were you not there, none of them would still be at this feast. Well, are you excited to meet all sorts of noblemen and maybe watch your friends win some prizes over the next couple of days?
I'm excited to watch them fight.
You think any of them will become blades?
No.
No.
She turns back. She doesn't do like a little lady, the lady-like decorum thing where she's like covering her laugh. She turns back and this boisterous belly laugh just comes out of this woman. Ah, I needed that. Thank you.
No, I don't think you're gonna win. No.
All this faith and confidence coming from the other half of the room is really warming my heart.
What?
My smithing and our ability to win.
I'm looking forward to getting to meet the rest of your friends as well. She kind of turns over and looks to the side. There's a dwarven man who's kind of walking close to you and says, excuse me, miss.
Yes.
And just kind of tries to sidestep to go sit next to this woman here. I'm so sorry. I actually I'm stuttering, not her. In just a moment, once everyone is seated, we'll actually all be taking turns and going and meeting with the champions, and some will be offering favors and such. I do look forward to getting to speak with you further here. I'm so sorry. Now, and she kind of turns over and is like whispering back and forth with this dwarf, like there's something going on here. But you do see, now that you're closer, the amulet she wears, the holy symbol she wears, looks brand new. It's either recently polished or recently purchased. Who knows which? Elle, do we need to roleplay you dancing? Do you want to roleplay you dancing?
I think you could assume I'm making horrific small talk.
I need a performance check.
Okay.
I do need a performance check.
Luckily, I don't think. Oof. Yeah. Okay.
Low dice rolls today.
I've never rolled well.
I'm okay
In
with
my
getting
life.
the bad ones out now.
See what the good ones rolled. Oh well, that's fine. That's going to be a grand old 7 from me.
With a 7, as you're dancing, you're doing a just fine job. You've taken some of the etiquette courses. You've learned some of the more formal dances out there. But as you kind of get some nervous jitters as you're chatting a little bit here, there's a quick as you absolutely step on the princess's feet. Drink. How about we sit and have a drink for a moment?
I'm gonna go jump off a cliff without Featherfall.
Oh no! No. But she does call someone over, one of the workers here, and procures herself like this this fine glass filled with this golden mead in it. Just offers you one as well. A little awkward, maybe a little bit tender on her left foot, but doesn't look like she's upset.
Good thing I don't wear heels.
No, just boots.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
It is still unfortunate, isn't it?
Yeah. That's pointy.
Finally, let's assume the three of you are making your way through the party, eventually reaching back towards Ismina here. Ismina, you sat down near Norn, who was kind of just looked at you somewhat smugly. Are we just doing this, by the way? This is Matthew speaking. Alex, give me intense music.
No, we're almost good. Funny that we both made it here.
Indeed. It's a bit of a surprise that you all were able to find yourself in such a lofty place. But hey, you've proven yourself. I imagine the smiles will be worth quite a pretty penny when we return back to Eltz.
I'm positive that probably happened back whenever we stopped a serial killer, stopped a necromancer trying to, kill people and turn them into an undead army, the little things.
It is those little sorts of things that do matter in the end.
Not all of us are busy chasing rats around the city streets.
It's such an interesting choice of words, as for a very brief time we were chasing you, if you recall. But from lofty beginnings, we're here now. Who would like to get here first to help before I just quip with Victoria?
I just met the nicest guys. They're so great. They have this great game. You got to try it. Ismini, I know you like games. You'll probably love it.
Okay. Would love to.
Yeah.
You watch as Norn kind of snorts. They stand up, grab a tankard, curtsy halfway, and just begin stepping away from the table.
I could literally have him killed and it wouldn't cost me anything. That's the thing. I think we need to address that very quickly.
We could just kill them.
No. Here is the thing. We haven't addressed it.
You have spent the entire.
I have spent the entire campaign. Yes, I'm a noble lady who comes from a very powerful line of magical sorcerers and wizards. Yes, I have connections
We
to
get
the
it.
mafia.
You got connections.
All I would have to do if I wanted to play the game that way is just ring up Ascending and go, "Hey sis, want to come kill this asshole with me?" And she
What?
probably would do it.
Wait, we could do that? It's never occurred to me we could just do that.
It's been the option the entire campaign.
Why would we
Why
want
did we
to?
do the necromancer stuff by ourselves and not just outsource it?
Why did we?
Exactly.
Would we want to kill him?
Oh, we don't.
Oh,
Wait.
okay.
I mean,
I forgot that they haven't actually done anything to us besides
Just be dicks.
They're just-
be jerks.
They're just competition, but let's be honest, they're not really.
they stole all the old members of the Smiles.
They're also
we poached them back.
the highest. They're the biggest, most successful mercenary guild in the city.
Yeah, we're competing against Walmart. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
We're mom and pop.
Guys, I
not
didn't
Walmart.
tell you Norton's last name is Bezos. It's wild.
Oh, then we have to kill them.
Oh no!
No, the
Amazing.
most important part is that he acknowledged our existence, which means that we're enough of a threat for him to recognize that we exist.
And then multiple of us made it through. Didn't only him make it through the Ashen League?
Oh, that seems single other Ashen.
The only member of the Ashen League to make it here was Norn.
And they had rented out a whole party space because of how many people they brought.
Yeah, the whole tavern.
Okay, you know
Well,
how
I'll tell ya.
earlier I was joking about how I could
They brought
knocked you
50
out
people.
to have less competition?
Quantity isn't necessarily quality.
Yeah.
Do you think that he got his people drunk so that they would lose?
No, I'm saying that he has cannon fodder that he probably sacrificed to some
Oh,
degree.
yeah, probably.
Like I could have just shoved you in front of the dragon and flown away.
Why me? You don't seem to have the desires to shove Thorin in front of danger, or even Mai.
I was already knocked down and Thorn was looking healthy.
I don't think Thorin took any damage in that fight.
I didn't.
Nah.
I didn't take any damage.
I didn't.
I stayed inside the building.
Ah, I'm a wizard. I can stand 500 feet away and still be effective. I don't have a 2-foot-long sword in my hand.
You could have gone into that line of work.
Some of us don't have the natural aptitude.
You know it's called studying. Books.
I still need
You all
many
hear
books.
off in the distance one of the noblemen's, "More wine, Terry!"
Kill him.
No murdering the
You've
random
never
nobles.
liked any character I use that voice for.
I love Pops as a character. The voice, not so much.
So, we're gonna be
I know
up
it's
against
better.
each other
I
now.
know it's better as he moved from his place in the center of the table and left, which is kind of my intent.
Our
Did he leave a boot mark on the table?
They did actually scuff part of the tablecloth that's here. You can easily just wipe off, but
I'm not gonna touch that.
it's absolutely a rude little thing to do.
I don't want to touch the dirt from his shoes. Above that.
So rude.
Yeah, but we got him to move.
You also know some people are here for the Tournament of Blades just because the better you do in this last section, the more money you win. All three of you are going to be leaving with quite a sack of gold. And you know what? I forgot to mention something earlier. I figured now is a good time to do it. I was going to do it in a second, but we'll do this now. Looking up towards the head of the northernmost point of the northeastern point of the room, you can see King Sigurd sitting up there with his wife. There are several of the blades are actually seated here. You don't see Gythrax here in his human form or in his dragon form. But you see Thalia Bathrin, this blonde human woman. But you also see that on the table near King Sigurd are these two, I guess chests would be an appropriate word, as they're these sort of box-like constructs, but you don't see an obvious way to open them. And you've heard a little bit about this in the past. You were told stuff by Iris quite a while back, and Princess Josephine can confirm this. Those are 2 vials of prismatic ink are stored up there.
Fun.
Do you want to join the Smiles?
We have to do the.
Are you not actually part of the Smiles?
Have you done the paperwork?
I don't think I've done the paperwork yet.
No, we never
Okay.
actually sat down and said you actually want
the
to.
paperwork is only a formality. I
I
have the authority to induct anyone.
But it's gotta be my choice.
I just figured you're
No,
auditing.
I wanted to.
Sure, I will join the Smiles.
Yes, we're the Smiles
Wait, does that mean you officially move in too?
No, Mike's probably got a house. Like,
I
don't
live
you
at
wanna
the
live
temple.
and a butler.
You have a room at the temple.
But don't you?
Yeah, I live at the temple.
You guys want to have a crash room? We have so many doors.
We have so
I
It's-
probably will have.
it's
I'll
actually
take a room
really
in the warehouse.
yeah.
The warehouse, it breathes really well because there's a lot of holes in the ceiling. So you get a lot of fresh air.
Yeah, there's always like a cross
I
breeze.
thought you would patch the holes up after the last. How many times have you been attacked at the warehouse?
A lot of the holes are not from us being
3?
attacked. The holes are consistently from some people falling through the ceiling. The holes in the ceiling are
It was
so
Silas.
often from. They're all over my room, and it leaks. They never fix it right. It leaks, and it runs like a
Victoria's
whole
face right now.
I thought we were about to tell on ourselves. These bunch of vigilantes jumping into our house.
I wasn't gonna say that.
I do have to apologize. It looks like things will be starting in a moment, and I will be expected to make the rounds to the other champions.
Is your dad here too? Feels weird to call a king someone's dad, but okay.
Unfortunately, my father was not. There are some individuals here he's not terribly keen on seeing in a jovial way.
King privilege. You can just skip the events you don't want to go to. Nice.
Well, the royal bloodline is present, and therefore decorum is not fully shattered.
Ooh, juicy.
Have a kid, skip event. Got it.
Objective?
Google.
Not this event. I love this event. Other ones, like olives. Balls.
Also,
Events.
I will say, everything you got in front of you, because slowly people have been coming out and putting platters of food. They're all very curated, as you've seen in the past. There's been some, maybe folks have asked some questions previously about what you've liked, or who knows, maybe a bit of divination magic was used for it. But
We just got mystery stew in front of us.
You got
We're a bunch
mystery
of
stew.
weirdos.
you are terrifying.
Your vibes? Bad. Here's some weird stew.
But all of you have been served. The food is great. I mean, you already know. I think you already know the ale is fantastic.
It's based on
But
your grocery list.
It's very exciting. All of the stuff you're being fed, all the stuff you're giving here is quite good.
So flush.
At this point, though, you do notice that the music itself shifts. Still exciting, but this time a little more of this rhythmic sort of thing. As around the room, you hear the sound of chairs sliding as many of the nobles stand and begin making their way a procession around the room to meet with some of the peers, but also to congratulate and have and essentially congratulate the champions, to talk with them briefly. Not everyone may visit, and we're not going to go over all of them.
My background feature kicks in right
But
now.
we're going to do some dice rolling.
I can't stand that. Lift your chair and move it backwards, and it won't screech. Basic manners.
Josephine catches that as she's leaving and actually giggles about it.
It's an IRL opinion and an in-fiction.
Connor, you want to do me a favor? Roll me a d10. You got one of those out?
Of course.
Sweet.
Eldritch Blast.
Blast.
7. EB.
Cool.
That's what you should say each time.
EB.
Well, good. Victoria's going to
quick.
sprint back after I say this one. The first few that you meet are pretty unremarkable. A couple of folks who are important merchants here in the city. You meet someone who is one of the apparently the high mason of the Runehold, working on repairing the castles and such. But the first one of note I want to mention is this individual steps up. They're an elven man, a high elven man, scars along one side of his face, pale white but quite short hair, combed over to the side, and a fine, like sort of tailored silken shirt on the top. This man here, two of you would recognize as Duke Edmund Alabaster of Chalcedonia. An important ruler, though not as important to, say, the Lady of Summer. Greetings. It has been quite some time since I've seen you, young Lilier.
Duke.
And I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
It's me, Callister.
As he reaches his hand forward, sort of more of an elven shake where he grabs your hand, places the other one kind of gently on top, and there's a genuine warmth to it. Ah, of course. He rubs a spot on his chest tenderly, a few inches away from where his heart would be. I am quite familiar with the Callisters. I've made foolish mistakes in my youth, and, well, Herond put a bolt in a place that is still quite scarred.
Which one?
There is only ever one Herond, is there not?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It is such a shame that you're spoken for by Princess Mudrust. There is quite a bit of work in Chalcedonia that could be done by you and your friends. And congratulations, of course, to you as well, Laurentius.
Laurentius Thorn.
My wife would quite like you.
I'm trying to psychically kill Thorn.
We all have our reasons for being here. Some of them are for the tournament, some of them are for other reasons. I'm sure you can relate.
And I'm sure if
Of course.
you know that we would love to take a trip to Chalcedonia one day.
Well, of
You
course.
might need of us.
My home of Kirapur is always going to have open gates to you. Truly, if you have the chance to visit in the spring, I would highly recommend it. We have, well, I suspect a bountiful harvest coming next year.
I would love to come in the spring.
I shall have Maribel make engagements.
Perfect.
Arrangements, sorry, just the wrong thing. Getting married. No, arrangements,
Surprise.
excuse me.
You're getting married. It's in the spring.
9 blessings upon you.
And Mother's blessings upon you as well.
I've been told quite a bit about your work in the arena.
Thank you.
Well, of course, that things have not continued. You've carried your companions quite far. As a noble of the elves, but though not their rulers, I feel we are kindred in this sort of way. A little bit of pleasantness and all of this before, unless you have anything particular you wanted to say to this man.
No, I'm just it's currently sinking in right now that I'm a human.
You
From
are
an elven court.
human.
Surrounded by elves.
Mm-hmm.
From an elven land, serving an elven court.
I did
Serving an elven
recognize your
house.
face.
Are you having a crisis?
True polymorph, when?
Are you having a fish out of water moment?
Roll me d6, by the way, Amanda.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's what you're reacting like.
A 6.
Didn't recognize me.
I'm sorry, we'll just have to both be more famous.
The next one,
No, I just changed my name.
How about infamous?
the next person comes.
Sure hope not.
This person is so maybe the more fashion forward of you want to know where he got all of his silks. As you see, this man steps up, a little more round in the belly, this is clearly a nobleman of some sort who's been enjoying quite a leisurely lifestyle here. This open, wide open at the top of the jacket, tufts of hair poking out slightly, with a bound, rainbow patterned scarf around the top of his head. Hello! I simply must speak to you. You have been incredible in the arena, and you are making of legends. But there's something I must speak to you about. You are the master of that creature, yes?
Yes.
What do you feed it?
Nearly anything it wants.
How perfect. I have everything there is to have. Except that. I have the most beautiful menagerie in all of Issel. Located on the back of one of the 9's greatest creatures of Mun. The Grand Turtle carries me and my menagerie wherever we wish to go. And I must ask, how much for the beast?
It's not for sale.
Everything's for sale.
Are you? Am I?
Rightly so.
Everything.
Fair.
Yeah, no, I speak his language.
Well then.
There just isn't a number right now.
Can I just ask, like, how much would you offer for something like that? Maybe we can keep an eye out for another one.
Or if this
A
one's
reasonable
fixed.
sum would be 30,000 platinum pieces. I want what I do not have.
We'll keep an eye
But
out.
no, you do not reach positions such as mine without learning to accept no. Instead, he takes a one of the glasses that he's brought them, raises it up. Let us drink now and tomorrow for us all to find new wonders. Then raises his drink up.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! You hear similar tidings across the room. The dwarves cheer out. Huzzah!
Brothers!
Tori, you want to roll me a D4?
Okay.
Why are the dice getting smaller?
Because there's less people to meet. What are you talking about?
The next few are incredibly dry, with folks coming to ask for information of whether or not you'd be willing to relocate and come work for a mercenary band. Someone comes and tries to recruit Mai to join a knightly order of like a chaotic neutral god. It's a little odd there. There are a couple of people who want to see if you want to come on expeditions off to the Coatlan Islands and such, but the D4?
Two.
A dwarven man approaches the table, clad in reasonable armor, axe still strapped to his back, his helmet held at his side. No drink in his hand for this one, but just hello. It's Tendry of the Jaw. You seen before? I've come to offer my congratulations. Hell of a fight you put up there.
Rough.
Well, half my band got knocked out, so I understand. But congratulations, truly.
I heard you did well.
I did what I could with what I had. And I hope to do better.
No one can ever ask us for more.
Well, I hope you all enjoy the festivities, drink and eat your fill, and find rest.
Yeah. See you tomorrow, I guess.
I'll be cheering the loudest, I'm sure.
You gonna hang around?
For a bit.
Okay.
You come sit with me.
Tendry's gonna have to return to the table with the rest of Boros' band.
No, I meant tomorrow. We're watching.
Aye, that would be nice. And with that, Tendry is going to kind of continue along the way. Can I get a D4 from Clella?
If you were really evil, you could just blow up the stands. It's so easy to just place a couple well.
Stop! You brought terrorism into our world too many times.
We haven't thrown a big event without it being destroyed ever.
I know, but it's really easy to think of ways it can be done.
I also have a 2.
That's fine. I've been eliminating things.
I have a mental wish list.
The dwarf from earlier. We did 2 dwarves in a row here. The dwarf who interrupted your conversation earlier, approaches. Tankard in hand, a beaming smile. Well, I'll be. Aren't you a fine-looking lot? The dwarven man wearing a simple, like a sort of light leather vest, thick bands of black tattoos from his shoulder all the way to his wrist, stepping over, broad smile on his face, and you see that there are a trio of different sized flutes hanging over from one side of his hip. Steps up to meet you. You all have done a hell of a job out there.
It's been fun.
Certainly the talk of the town, and presumably pretty soon, a lot. Oh, I am stuttering today. I'm so sorry, guys. Talk of a lot more places as well.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Vogrel Nilstill. Nice to make your acquaintance.
Yay, you rolled it.
What's up, Vobril?
Huh?
What's up, Vobril?
I saw you were drinking with the king earlier. How did that happen?
Oh, he's a king. Didn't come up. He's a really nice guy, though. You should vote for him again.
Theory gone.
There we go.
Well, he's not my king, but he's an interesting character.
I want to give this guy a once over. Just
Investigation check?
yeah.
Go for it.
23.
23. This is an incredibly handsome dwarf. Hair has
I
been
knew that.
cut away from most. His beard is short and well manicured. His hair has been pulled up slightly here, like so taken. He doesn't have a bunch like flowing mane on the back here. It's kind of pushed back from the front. Here, kind of slicked back. But you do notice that what you didn't see on first inspection, as he kind of leans over to talk with Thorn, you can see there's an incredibly well-made dagger on his hip, closer to his back, sort of like a little bit past the midway point. That you can see the scabbard itself has a thin cutout, just make it quicker to draw. The blade itself is made of a green metal. Reminds you of adamantite. So he's got a nice weapon on him. It's small. This doesn't look like a combat weapon, but it's very well made.
He didn't introduce himself with a title.
Nope.
Is he? Do I know of him as some sort of like?
Well, he's a guardian.
He's a guardian. That's what we just drew.
Yes.
From the dagger.
Yes,
He's a
I know
guardian.
this.
It looks different than the guardian daggers you've
Yes.
seen.
Yeah, because it's a bardian. Duh. I know how to recognize my kin.
Well, got any secret strategies for how you're going to win the tournament?
You'll like this one.
Make some gold? Oh.
Get real high in the air, blast him from there.
That's pretty good. Hopefully you don't run in with any grasping palms.
I don't want to.
There are some
really don't
There
want
are some special bits of arcane trickery that can take you down there, but I'm excited to see what you all have.
Not if you can teleport.
I don't I apologize for interrupting your conversation a bit earlier. Things were
No problem.
These sort of events are always a little too stuffed up for me, and well, sometimes there's business that has to be handled. Cheers to meetings and reunions.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We're gonna keep on going. You're just happy I'm showing characters you know. I know.
You showed my favorite boy.
I'm not letting anyone roll for this.
Bards aren't heroes.
Cards on heroes.
A halfling man approaches this, though his brown, fine clothes are quite simple. He does have a bright red cloak that flows behind him, thrown partially over one of his shoulders. This halfling man bearing the colors of Elts on one of this large brooch around his neck. Well, it is still quite surprising to see that you all managed to make it here, but you really flourished in the north. Part of your guild here doing so well. The tournament is really, you've had quite an amazing upset. And of course, the other members of your guild, well, they're wallowing as they're led by a one-armed buffoon. But it truly is impressive what you've managed to do in your time here.
I'm sorry, who are you?
High Lord Angari. I don't believe we've met, though I've seen the three of you during your brief stint in prison, if I recall.
Yeah, we've done that. So you said the smiles are languishing.
It's a tough thing. There's, well, all sorts of unsavory rumors have made it people less likely to recruit the Smiles, and plus the Ashen League is more than handled the needs of the Elsian people. But I'm sure there's all manner of beggar and peasant who've been willing to recruit the Smiles in your time away.
What sort of nasty rumors are you referring to?
Well, I mean, when you're led by a known criminal such as Adon, those sort of rumors are likely to appear.
We've all been arrested. We're all criminals.
Oh,
right?
no one here in this fine court would dare to question your integrity. I speak only of those far away from here.
Oh my god. It is interesting, you know, how stories change and develop over time.
It is how a tale can bend and weave as the days pass. Well, you've made it this far, and perhaps you'll go a little bit further. So a toast then, to defying expectations. Pours a very small shot for himself, raises the glass, swigs, turns heel, and walks away.
I pour out my glass.
You pour your glass.
You flip him off.
You flip him off.
So you said High Lord Angari's on my hit list.
Maybe
you knew this. High Lord Ngari cut off Adon's arm.
Oh, I know he did.
Yeah, okay.
I know he did.
The little halfling turd.
Yeah. It's always the little ones that are so loud and obnoxious.
It would be such a shame if he fell.
Fell down the stairs.
As I live and breathe, I knew you were here, but I just didn't believe it. A white dragonborn begins marching up to the table, smile on his face, long flowing clothes, some of his scaled muscled skin, scaled muscled body poking through the middle here. Just you see Lord Kryvar Album of Copperspeck.
We were just meaning to come back to Copperspeck. What a great
Well, instead I
coincidence.
made the journey here. It was an honor to be requested to be one of the king's attendants, and hearing that you were actually the attendants of the princess. The stories you must have told.
And we'll keep telling.
Yeah.
Iris says hi.
Irishman.
He struck through the heart here.
I really wanted to see that reaction.
As much as it pains me to be away from my muse for this long, it is wonderful to come and see the spirit and the warmth that is the Isolite people.
Did you hear what happened to us?
Did you?
Only a bit. I'll admit that I've been a bit in my studies as of late, and I've been learning about drawing hands. It's truly a
So hard.
Herculean task. Hercules is canon now, sorry. Deal with it.
Just gonna give him the.
You wanna catch him?
I'm gonna do the short version of, well, we got arrested, but then we caught the serial killer that had been killing everybody, and we actually weren't guilty of any of the crimes we were accused of necessarily, and like other people had been doing corrupt things.
We
We've been
solved
busy.
so many murders and mysteries before we solved the one that we intended to solve. But we got there in the end.
After 3 days.
It only took us 30 days once we put our minds to it.
My scales!
Weird when you're motivated that your friends will be in prison, how quickly you can get something done.
It's like
Well-
the phone call you've been putting on for 65 minutes.
Yeah, just 20 minutes every day that you've just been sitting there. Then
Do you mention that you avenged
Yeah.
Oswald? There's a real warmth to that. Well, then I suppose it is my honor to say a toast and to raise a glass to beginnings, endings, and beginnings once more.
Cheers.
Here's my glass.
You guys
I should have stood up to shake Angari's hand.
just. I don't know how that looked on camera, but it's fine.
Let's see.
Nope, I'm good.
I think it's happening.
All right. So the next little bit of time is not. It gets a little tedious, I would say. The only other notable one here.
We've gone through like all of our. It's
pretty accurate.
Like between handshakes.
Can everyone make me a quick con save, real quick?
Oh no.
You guys are taking shots. I mean, I think it's a little funny.
I thought we were like sipping beer.
No.
You're having toasts.
Oh god.
I'm fine.
I'm sipping off the same glass of wine.
Con save.
Yep.
24. 17.
17.
24.
You're all fine. You're all feeling
Same
good.
hat. Exactly same hat.
The last person I
What
want
did
to
you
mention.
roll on your die?
You
17.
don't have to roleplay this unless you guys want to, but a gray tiefling approaches, eyes glowing a very bright white as they step closer. Hair almost the same as Meanie's, this bright blonde, platinum blonde sort of thing. A watcher approaches. Oh shit.
Everyone sit up straight.
I have read the reports of what's occurred in Eltz over the previous year and some months. It would seem that you've been treated quite rudely by the members of my organization who have been stationed there, and for that I would like to apologize. The consortium has a complicated history with Eltz, to say the least, and I fear that some of those prejudices have been applied to you, and I will do my best with my inquiry and with my pen to ensure that those things will stop. The men there are a bit zealous, and admittedly that's something I've been guilty of in my past. Hopefully, with my orders being sent southward, relations can be improved between the Defiant Smiles and the Fudanti Consortium. If, of course, you'll have us.
I think absolutely.
I appreciate that, though of course, you'll have your own time to think about these sort of things. I came here
Will you be in Eltz after the tournament?
not for some time, but I would like to find my way along the southern coast.
Come find us when you do. I might have some questions.
Of course.
I likely don't need to do this introduction, but I'm gonna reach my hand out and just say it's me, Callister.
Watcher Rye. Gray tiefling male, in case you guys do your notes like I do my notes.
No.
I will do that. I will visit and hopefully get to meet you again.
Got some things that you might be interested in looking into.
He leans a little bit closer. Should I head south sooner rather than later?
I don't think there's any rush.
Well, I had expected to be there by winter, though perhaps by summer's end instead.
Sounds good.
Very well. To mending bridges.
And then some.
One final toast. You'll get a little bit of a reprieve from all the nobility as Jam comes back to sit at the table.
I didn't get stabbed.
You have fun?
I didn't get stabbed.
I'm so glad you didn't get stabbed.
You guys can see, kind of looking across the room, you can see like 2 or 3 nobles who were just fully conked, fully conked out from this. Josephine, can I sit down? Did you meet anybody funny? Did you meet anybody funny? That's funny, I have 2 voices.
Not as funny as you.
Was she this meanie? No, was she nice? Were you nice?
I was nice.
These movies
She was
always
polite.
nice. She's sometimes sharply nice.
Amicable, yeah.
There were some
Amicable.
the amount of people who don't understand how to queue properly in order to greet people is atrocious.
Yeah, there were a couple times that I noticed that nobody introduced themselves during the entire conversation, so I was just, it's meaty.
Yes, occasionally those sorts of things just kind of slip by the wayside. And honestly, there are some people who are enjoying the imbibements here a bit too much.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a
Yeah,
tragedy.
It is a party, but does not mean it has to be
Present
too rowdy.
company.
Why, I saw Lord Candlemaruk underneath one of the kegs.
What's the first
Lord
name?
Candlemark.
Yeah.
Can I just do a quick scan of the room and just see like
All the ferment on
how?
their faces.
Yeah, I want to see like
Give me a
how
quick perception check.
trashed everyone is.
Oh, wait, I want to see.
I want to see Lord Candlemaruk
Yeah,
now.
I want to see Lord Candlemaruk.
He is the slightly tiefling man who was getting drunk at the beginning going, oh!
Oh, okay.
18.
With an 18? Laurentius, it's like 1 in 4 people are asleep.
Asleep?
Asleep, like fully passed out, asleep, whatever you want to call it, just doof. You have such beautiful eyes. Did anybody ever tell you that?
Oh, gee.
Father says I shouldn't be distracted by a beautiful face, but I really just can't help it.
I'm talking to them
And
now.
I say, get another drink, Ismini. It's really good.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to start drinking my drink.
I'm not gonna do a full pour. I'm not doing a full pour.
A half pour.
How long has it been since like?
I would say you've been in here about an hour and a half, hour.
It seems a little weird. that
Some folks
people
probably
are-
got here about half an hour to an hour before you.
Okay.
You allegedly, it's just. Did
I have a heist plan.
you heist?
I plan to heist.
Yeah, I have a plan for the consortium to maybe look into the Undercroft.
I don't want them anywhere near me.
Yeah, I would rather.
That's why I want to send them to there.
No,
They have a
everyone,
funny name.
everyone calls them the Watchers, though. 90% of the time.
Well, it's because it's hard to spell Fundati.
You should try spelling in Elvish. It's kind of a nightmare.
It's so loopy.
There's so many loops.
You
Elvish
have to draw a
cursive is-
leaf in order to make certain proper nouns.
Should we be turning in?
No, the party hasn't started.
The party hasn't started.
It hasn't.
No.
People are already asleep.
Typically, the Sort of Champions Feast lasts until, well, for several hours longer.
We have to eat food.
It's
feast
nighttime.
part.
We don't have sundials at night. We have to actually. There's no bell tower in the Citadel.
There's no. Can you cure poison?
I was gonna cast.
I'm gonna
ritual
prop
cast
up
detect
Jam
poison.
So she looks like we can do Bernie's
Prop her
for
up.
a little
We
bit.
can get Bernie's
Hold on.
jam.
How long does
Prop her
that
up.
take, Amanda?
I will prop up Jam in the
Jam?
meantime.
10 minutes.
Slams onto the table hard. As you pick her up, there's a small trickle of blood.
Oh no! Oh no!
10
Hold on.
minutes.
10 minutes?
You begin casting a spell.
I'm gonna sniff her glass and put some moss in it.
I'm going to put
It
some
smells very nice
potatoes
in here.
in front of Jam and try to gently wake her up. Is she unconscious? She's unconscious.
Make a medicine check.
Okay. 23.
23. You go up to her and you're like, this is gonna be a little uncomfortable. Close your nostrils briefly. Sometimes that'll disturb people who are sleeping in a real deep one. You don't have smelling salts on you, I would
Yeah.
say.
I do not.
No response. Her breathing is incredibly slow. Not labored or anything, just she's in a deep, deep sleep.
Take Jam back up.
Look around the room again.
Frick. I stand out.
30 to 40% of people, and you see a couple people start looking
Temporary.
around.
I will. Can I like?
No.
Let's start.
No.
Let's
Sorry.
No,
get out
no,
of here.
no.
We
There's
gotta
like,
go.
there's like 30 or 40 people falling out.
We gotta go. We gotta go.
Wait, there's multiple people falling?
40 people just fell
Yes.
out.
40%.
40%, which is 20 people.
From the
45
southern end of the room, you watch as the gate,
Let's
to
go.
the main part of the hall,
No,
begins
no,
lowering.
no.
Don't leave.
No, no.
We don't want to leave. What do you mean?
You watch as people begin standing up. You
King
see it
Sigurd
at
still
the
in the room?
at the. Turn up to look at the high table here. You see a couple of things. You see two women standing over King Sigurd, whose face is currently in what looks to be just some sort of dessert or cake here. You see Queen Liara, the elven queen of Issel, is kind of shaking him, and you watch as next to her is the first blade of Issel, Thalia, who's holding on to Liara and trying to wake Sigurd, but you see that she's out of it. She has her blade drawn in her other hand.
I'm up. I
taking
have
the
my
women,
wand
like,
out.
helping them,
I'm taking
or-
They're
her
trying to
sword
wake
out.
up Sigurd, but it looks
Okay.
like Thalia is falling asleep where she's standing.
She has her sword out.
She's her sword out. She looks alert and on a swivel.
Where's the threat?
I'm gonna start slamming things on the table very loudly, just making a lot of loud
You start making a
noises.
lot of noise all at once. You see some heads start turning to you. The
The gate.
murmuring start.
Why is the
getting
gate
louder.
closing?
As you
Stop the
turn-
gate from.
Yeah, you turn to the south and you see two of these knights of Issel are both working, pulling a crank, and actually that you watch as the main gate, this reinforced door, the main entrance to the sanctum, is being lowered. It's probably about 3/4 of the way lowered at this point. It doesn't take long to close the door here. It's still enough where people could move physically underneath it.
Why are you closing the gate?
Are you just yelling at people?
Yes.
Ready?
Run over there.
Yeah.
You
go over
watch
there.
I'm gonna stand over Jam.
for. You guys would notice because you got heads on the swivel here. We're all actively looking around. You watch as 5 or 6 Isol soldiers step out of the western door. There's still, in addition to the main gate, which is a big old gate, there's 2 doors, one to the east, one to the west. You're closer to the eastern side of the room right now. Soldiers filing in.
Nope. Can I?
Sword out.
You draw your blades out.
I'm looking
My
for the.
arcane
I'm
eye
looking at the
active.
champions. Are there champions up? Or are the champions down?
I need everyone to roll for initiative.
I didn't bring
Huh?
Raptor.
Oh, you have your arcane. This is all happening over
Yeah.
a while.
I
I'm
want. I want-
100% fine with that. That's good.
I wanted to activate it before we did any.
I'll take it.
Can you mark me down for a nat 1, Connor?
Shit, I also rolled bad.
I'll let you guys know this beforehand. There's a good chance this is the rest of the scenario, session may use the same initiative.
It's fine for initiative.
Clella, did you hear what I just said? You probably
The
can use
rest
this
of
for
the
the rest of the session. This initiative.
I will take this. Thank you.
I
Alex.
didn't.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
I didn't bring my baby with me. I don't
You
know how
did
to-
not bring your baby with you.
I didn't know.
I didn't know if you had him or not.
I did. I decided not to bring him because it was a.
Laurentius,
18.
18, not bad. 18 for Thorn. My?
14.
14, not bad. Ismini,
5.
5 for Ismini, kind of bad.
Yeah.
11.
I'm a wizard.
11 for L.
6 and a 1.
Whoa.
So you call an epic fail.
Let me. Okay. As some of these folks
So
begin
they've changed
marching
the
in.
I
violence.
should have known we never have a party without it getting invaded, ever.
Parties that are fine happen
said it-
during downtime.
You're setting it-
There's no way to deal with this meta class.
Multiple times.
Also, every time I've had a party where nothing bad happened, you guys were on edge the entire session.
We didn't do the entire party.
You
going,
didn't trust it. Yeah, I clearly like this is almost an abusive relationship as a DM to players because you guys no longer trust fun.
Yeah.
If it's ye, I s-
All right, Thorn, you're actually gonna be the first person in this initiative, as you're seeing that people are filing in mostly from this western side here. First is like 4 of these. They look like Issel Knights, and then you watch as continuing in further. There are a pair of humans, 1 male, 1 female, wearing like large furs. You see big muscles underneath. Barbarians. You've seen folks like this, each with a great axe on their back, step in and begin looking over. You watch as some of the nobles who are nearby kind of begin backing up, stumbling over themselves. You watch one fall, clank head on a table, and hit the ground. Thorn, you're first. The main gate is almost entirely closed at this point.
I'm gonna turn to the group of people that are coming in and say, "Where are your invitations?"
You want to make your way towards that side of the room?
Yeah.
Okay, as you begin marching towards them, this is a flavor thing here. You watch as several of them, as you begin approaching, begin drawing out weapons.
All right. Well, they chose violence. I'm choosing violence.
Just remember this. One thing I want to let you know for this Theater of the Mind encounter we're doing right here is the room you're in is relatively large, but note that it's also relatively filled with nobles, unconscious or not.
Okay.
So just take care when it comes to area of effect spells.
Yeah.
If you want to darkness, I'm good, by the way.
Okay. I am gonna run up into that group. And
Don't worry about speeds here for this first combat.
and I'll pop off. I'll quicken darkness and pop it off. Cast it on my.
Do you want to cover the entire western entrance?
I would like to just make it so that it's harder for them to see in.
But you can see through it, right?
Yeah.
Thorn, you give me a perception check, and I will tell you the DC for this perception check is 20.
I got it. 24.
Thorn, peering through the doors, you see that there are row of these people. You see these 2 barbarians were actually marching in front of someone large. You see, through the darkness, this is mostly in grayscale here, you see rippling muscles, easily 9-10 feet tall, stepping through the hallway that leads to the western part of the etched citadel. You see 2 massive horns from the side of the Minotaur's head. You see...
Is this a Kingslayer?
You see strapped... You want to go ahead... Connor, I'll go ahead and hand you this model here, just in case.
Oh shit!
You see strapped along one of the sides of his body is this tight metallic chain, bands of leather belts strapped to different parts, holding in daggers and small bits of metallic padding. A huge number of layered plates covering his main arm, and a great axe that is easily twice your size. It's a huge axe. You can see that he's drawn it and is stepping closer. Around his waist is a large metallic kilt, layered battle skirt, essentially, with what looks to be not only large plates, but there's also these small charm-like objects that bounce slightly atop it as he walks. It looks very, very well made. Like, you can identify that kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
This looks like it's some sort of magical armor, though he's not, his chest is mostly uncovered. He has the bikini armor.
Does he have the little rings on his
He does have a pair of rings on his horns and a ring in his nostrils.
just like his outfit?
Did Victoria get to see? I had fun. This is what I wanted to. I couldn't show you.
And then I'll just pop off 2 blasts of the guys that are closest to me.
Sure, taking a shot at these, because there are a lot of these guys. And do you want to aim it? So it's firing into the crowd of these enemies here. Make your 2 attacks.
Advantage?
Yes. Don't you shoot two bolts?
Yeah.
Oh, because they can't see you. Yes.
Yeah.
They can't see you. You can see them. Also, Mai is on. Mai, you're on deck.
All right. A 22, and the other one is a 15.
So firing both of these in at the the ambushers here. Both of those are gonna be hits. Go ahead and roll your damage.
20 total.
20 total points of damage.
Yeah.
You watch as one of them falls, another one begins charging out, panicked, not directly at you. You can clearly see that they're not sure where you were coming from, and begins sprinting, trying to get out of the darkness. One of them runs into a table. They're not quite able to figure out where you are
Yeah,
immediately.
I want to interpose myself in between, so if they try to funnel into the room, I can swing at them.
Okay, because of that, they're already in the room partially, but you can get as close as you can to stop as many people as possible.
Perfect.
You're sitting in the doorway, a couple feet in front of the doorway, so people are they're gonna be next to you if they get through here.
Exactly.
But you do hear boom, boom, boom. It sounds like I'll just tell you, Tavrith is beginning to run, accelerate through.
Gonna just.
Do you have any more action economy?
I'm pretty sure it's a bonus action to
I
with the
think it
mind
is,
link.
boss. I'm
Let me
so
double
sorry.
check. It's all good. All good.
You can free action yell.
Can I yell?
Yeah, what do you want to say?
Kingslayer, Kingslayer boy, horny boy.
To everybody in this room that's
Yeah.
still conscious.
I think back to the kings
At
behind us.
initiative 15, you hear, "Drop the gate!" shouted out by Tavrith. I'm going to go ahead and use... you guys that are not in the darkness would pretty easily see the two knights who were by the mechanism, this pulley system near the main gate, pull out these small... They're battle axes. They're not great axes. And begin hacking at the device itself. You watch as the two of them kind of hacking through here, breaking the system. It still continues lowering. Whatever process was going on there is active, but you can see that they're damaging your means of fixing the situation. It's not fully closed yet, but it's almost entirely closed. That is going to be all that happens during initiative 15 this round. Let's continue on to Mai, and then Elle, you're on deck.
Are the people coming in from the eastern side as well?
No one's coming in from the east. That door is currently closed.
Okay. I can't see the western door anymore, right?
The western door is an orb, 15-foot orb, 30-foot orb,
It's 20.
20-foot orb of pitch black darkness.
All right, then I'm just gonna hold a spell for the first person who comes charging out.
Hell yeah. I will let you know, because all this is kind of happening at once. You can resolve this now.
Okay.
It is going to be these ambushers, these
Just a guiding bolt.
killers. Cool, guiding bolt.
23 to hit.
23 super hits. Go ahead and roll that damage. You begin firing bolts of radiant light as more and more of these people begin pouring out, ready to attack. You hear the scream of some of the still conscious nobles as they panic, running back.
12 points.
12 points of damage, not bad at all, Amanda. Is that gonna be it for your turn?
Yes, that'll be it for me.
All right. Continuing on, Elle, you, this initiative level 11, kind of looking around, you see that boom, boom, boom. More and more of these nobles are dropping. Looking over to the far side of the table, you see the dwarves from earlier look to kind of be struggling, but are still standing as they're grabbing some of the men and pulling them away from the western wall. You see King Thirod hoist the unconscious man from beneath the keg and begin walking across as fast as he can. But you can see the dwarves are succumbing to whatever's going on here. And so a bunch of them are working. They're working on evacuating.
Is that why you made us roll a con save earlier?
No,
You
it isn't.
ding dong.
It isn't actually.
Oh.
You are all immune to the poisoned condition.
How?
Because
With the
of the
feet.
feet.
Wait, how did he know? We're gonna have words with Whitaker Thor's master when we get back to Elves.
Elle, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Are you gonna stay close by Jam by chance?
Yes.
I think I can do more there. Okay.
Yeah, because James is out.
Yeah, I'm. Okay. I trust his meanie.
Remember, you can make skill
literally.
checks, ask about things during each of your turns.
Yes. I am going. I have blindsight active for my arcane eye,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm going to run into the darkness.
Okay.
I'm going to run very close to the darkness. I'm
Making your way across the room, sprinting, diving onto tables, doing flips.
yeah, doing the thing.
Super cool.
I'm gonna take out my sword when I'm there and go ahead and have weapon burst with lightning damage.
Okay.
But then when I get there, I'm gonna actually cast a spell, which is unusual for me.
Okay, bonus action. Ignite your blade, leaping into the darkness as you begin casting what spell?
I'm going to cast Binding Ice.
What do I do?
I'm going to emit cold into a 30-foot cone, and I'm going to need a con save, and anyone who fails is going to be hindered by ice formations with speed of 0 for
So
1
fun
minute.
fact, These, all of the guards here, all of these people who are coming to clearly do some bad stuff, they're vulnerable to this area of effect damage. They are a stat block, effectively. They're a swarm of ambushers.
Sweet. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna need those con saves. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
so
ahead
I
and roll damage.
damage.
And then if they pass,
We have our natural
they
one.
just take half damage.
No, I take full damage doubled.
Okay. I just didn't know if I could. It's not crazy. It's just 12 points of.
So 24 points of
Points.
damage.
Yes. So
Oh.
if they failed, no speed 0 for 1 minute.
This is so massive. Clella, you watch.
Not concentration.
There are about 20 at this point. Thorn, you've been slashing as people are going past you here. 15, 20 of these people kind of pouring out. Elle, did you make your save, by the way, Thorn?
For what?
For this spell that you're going to get by.
Oh, I didn't know I was getting hit by it.
You blew up the ball, right?
Is it con?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
I think you can pass my spell save.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think
You
I'm
take
fine.
6 points of damage.
6. Okay.
If it's halved on a save.
Yeah. It's halved, and
Six-
your speed is not reduced at all.
Right. Well, suddenly, Thorn, 15 or so men around you freeze in place, covered in a thick layer of ice. I had to do roll really quickly. One other thing. Thorn would be
Two
aware of
19s
this.
on my con save.
One of our barbarians fails. One of them passes. So currently the only people who can move are Tavrith and one of the barbarians.
That kind of helps when people are an invading army to make them stop moving.
Yeah.
That's so big. You stop them there. Okay. We're gonna keep on going. At initiative 10. Enemies do not begin pouring out of the western gate, actually, because they're kind of frozen.
I don't have wall spells anymore. This is the most I can do.
I didn't prep my
Thalia
wall
calls
spells, so
out.
I didn't need it for this fight.
Champions who still yet stand, form a perimeter around the center of the room. She's calling out as best she can. You can see, kind of turning is Meanie Mai. You're able to see that the queen is holding up Thalia, blade in hand, as the two of them are kind of standing their back to the king and several of the other nobles at the table. And you watch as several of the people begin forming sort of a barrier in the middle of the room as the dwarves are trying to get people over to your side. They're trying to they're making a phalanx just with less shields.
Yeah, I was gonna yell something similar.
Oh, okay, my apologies.
No, you're good.
Thalia's not looking good. Like, she's doing everything she can to stay up. Okay.
I can fix this.
Make a
You can fix this?
Fix the light.
I can fix Thalia.
You don't have a room full of powerful people where you can look at pick a person
Is
and go,
meaning
"I fix you."
that is your turn. What would you like to do?
I can't see Tapper.
You cannot see Taffret. You just heard the word Kingslayer from inside wherever the bubble that Thorn is in. Not only are we theater of the mind, but half of you are blind.
Yeah,
Are
you-
there
We're fine.
Yes, like 7 of them that you can see.
Are there any that are in a clump that outside of a 5-foot radius there's not a noble or champion?
Yes.
I would like to ice knife.
Awesome.
So onto one guy, ranged spell attack. That's only a 14.
It's gonna hit.
Great. That'll be a D10. So that'll be 1 point of damage on that person, and
And roll this, because they're vulnerable to the rest of it.
that was
I know. Roll the explosion part of this.
8.
That's not bad. 17 points of damage. Several of them falling to the ground as you explode this burst of an ice knife. One of the nobles kind of jolted, begins kind of crawling across the room, doing the best that they can, but really struggling to make their way away from the oncoming onslaught. So is that it for your
I'm
turn?
gonna move up. Okay.
We're gonna get into the center of the room.
I'm going to get my body in between the western wall and Jam's body.
Okay.
So I have decisions to make.
So here's the fun part.
I didn't prep a single wall spell and I know 3.
That's fair. It is now going to be the enemy's turn here. I can't move. I'm blind.
The best strategy.
I'm gonna make a decision.
I have
These
something
odds
good
here.
that I can do.
Cool. Thorn, you watch as several of the men in the rear ranks in the door, kind of bumping into folks, kind of confusedly, not sure what to do. Raise up. You can see each of them holding like these light crossbows. Not sure what they're able to do here, and have to pause. They're not able to fire while fully blind here.
Good.
Now, is there any sort of action I can take with Rhyme to break the ice, or?
No, it's the.
That's so
No,
good.
it's
It's
you're
really good right here.
Wait,
actually.
until it or another creature within reach uses its action to break away the ice.
Oh, can I spend my turn breaking
yeah,
it
you
and
could
flooding
take
the
your
room?
turn, too.
This is so big because I was going to use this first turn to kill about 30 nobles. So,
Yeah.
sure, we'll spend our turn only breaking this and moving our movement speed, flooding the room. I didn't get to attack with my army. You.
I prepared this spell because I thought we were going to do a big swarm attack.
Okay,
For
okay.
the trial.
As these people begin pushing through, you see that only the first few here are actually wearing Issel regalia. You see a dwarf with 2 short swords charging in. You see a pair of men in these very simple chain shirts and thrown together, like poorly cobbled together shield and mace charging in. You do see this hodgepodge of just different attire of people as they push in.
You missed sign up by a few days, by the way.
I'm gonna go ahead and end that round. Top of the round. It's Tavrith's turn.
Figured.
I'm blind, so we have good news. I'm gonna give you both advantage on this. I'm going to need a dexterity saving throw from both Ililie and Thorn as Tavrith begins to charge into the room. Boom, boom, boom. You watch as he barrels over several of his own men, charging through here, pouring down.
15.
28.
Pass, fail. On a pass, you're going to be able to dive out of the way, feeling this vibration coming through with your blind sight. Like sensing what's going to happen, you're able to reflexively get out of the way. Thorn, however...
It's
yes.
only 10 feet.
Huh?
Blind sight's only on.
Yes, well, he's charging through you and trying to gore you with his horns
Sweet.
as he's
Just
charging through in
wanted
a
to
line.
make sure.
Yes. Thorn, this is going to be 13 points of piercing damage as it kind of grazes you on the side, knocking you out of the way ever so slightly. As he's pushing through here, you are able to make an attack of opportunity. You are not able to make an attack of opportunity. You are, because you
Makes
passed.
sense, yeah.
Yes. On a failure, knocked back 10 feet.
Right.
Knocked prone. Doesn't really matter in the theater of the minds here, but I do want to mention that.
Wasn't
Yeah,
it
makes
ma-
sense.
I can't use specifically the reply.
It replies. It effectively is a melee attack. Yes.
Yeah. I don't have a way to get an advantage on this. It's just normal. Sweet.
He's in darkness.
He's in darkness.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
advantage because he can't see you.
I was thinking, I forgot about the darkness.
Yep.
Cool.
I forgot. I can see in the dark. Super dark.
Wow. Do you see this?
Advanced
I rolled a
darkness.
1, a 2, and then a 10 on the die, but that's going to be a 20. Does a math 20 hit?
A 20 barely hits. Yeah.
Okay, good. At least a 20 hits. And do I need to reduce any of the damage? It's lightning.
Roll all your damage.
9.
Add it all together.
15.
15 points of damage. As he charges through, you just hear the heavy, labored breathing as he sprints through here. Thorn, you would see, it's hard to read emotions on a Minotaur's face, but you see furrowed brow, you see gritted teeth as he sprints through. It looks like all that damage went through, but he didn't seem to react to it. So he is hurt.
Never seen a Minotaur before.
You've never seen a Minotaur before, I don't believe. You're right.
Yeah, this is like a
He
terrifying
was hurt, but it doesn't look like it was
experience.
as effective as you'd like it to be.
Okay.
Cool.
Interesting.
That was as he pushes through into the center of the room, rises up. Now finally, you can the rest of you can see him as he stands looking about the room itself, a smile on his face. He brandishes a massive battle axe, grabs it with his offhand. Now, unfortunately, because someone had to make me blind, I really struggled to do as many things I'd like to do on my turn. It cost me 2 attacks. You want evens or odds, Victoria?
Odds.
Odds it is. All right. Kind of glancing around, seeing what's going on, Tavrith looks around, not finding anyone too close to him. You see, he actually picks up one of the tables close by, looking underneath it to see if there's anyone there, tosses it to the side. Again, this man's huge. He's going to take a couple of steps forward towards his meanie, and he should make me an athletics or acrobatics check as he attempts to grab you.
Oh, I am so excited about this. Let's parlay. Natural 1.
27. 27.
You said 37.
I was so wrong.
Cry.
No, 27.
I was like, let's run away
I rolled really well.
to
and
a
this-
new continent.
You're,
Plus
so
17.
you watch as in his unarmored arm, he grabs you and picks you up, and I'm going to need you to make me a con save as he attempts to crush you.
18.
18 is going to be a pass. You're going to take half of this damage. It's not going to be very much at all. That's going to be 16 to half to 8 points of damage. He picks his meanie up into the air, a good 6-7 feet up, and begins crushing her. He's got basically the palm of his hand is wrapped around all of your torso. You've still got a free arm. That is all Tavrith is going to be able to do on his turn. That's going to be Thorn's turn.
I think at this point maybe darkness isn't helping, so I'm just gonna drop it
Okay.
because they already flooded into the room.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a hard thing to blind this many folks.
Right. Yeah. So I'll drop the darkness, and I'm gonna look at Tavrith,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna cast Psychic Lance at him.
Nice.
Nice.
What save do I have to make, Connor?
Intelligence save,
Do you think he's smart?
probably.
Ooh. 18.
That's a pass. You'll take half, and you won't be stunned.
More importantly is meanie. As Tavrith reels from the psychic energy attack, because Psychic Lens has components, you're aware that Thorn is casting it. You watch as he fully turns around. He grips you tighter. He looks
23.
furious
This
about
is
what just
exactly
happened.
where I wanted to be.
23
I
points of
don't like
damage.
your
Half.
looking conversation.
23 points of damage. Holy shit.
Well, half is that.
Oh, halved?
Yes.
Halved? Okay.
Half of 23.
Not a problem. Thorn, is that it for your turn? Anything else you want to do?
I already cast a spell. Is there a way for me to try to pull his meanie out of his hand using?
I would let you do the following.
Buddy,
I would say I'll let you use your shove to try to do that, and I'll say that he'll roll athletics.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
He's good at this. So I'm letting you know beforehand. He probably succeeds. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and make that.
Worth a try.
That one?
No, not 2. That's a 13.
That's a fail.
I was gonna do something at the end of your turn. No. You shunt Ismini out of his hand. She drops nearby, still in his range, but you are dropped as he. You feel the lurch.
Am I prone?
Nope.
Okay.
You just get
I
dropped.
was looking real mad.
It was literally just me going like.
You just like yank her out.
Yeah.
That's our wizard.
Oh, you just hit the Minotaur.
Is that the end of your turn, Thorn?
Yeah.
Can you see my turn again?
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna use a legendary action, and I'm gonna use my axe. You watch as he pulls his axe wide. You see Ismini dwarfed by this thing, and as he brings the blade down, it's rotating, all of his muscles rippling in the bright light of this hall, turns and is going to throw his axe at you. Thorn. That's terrible. Oh no!
On Tavris.
That's a 17.
I'm gonna shield. That way it does not hit me.
You watch as this axe,
He's choking.
truly, from like the top to the pommel is probably about 10 feet. It's huge for him. Spins through the air, comes close to you. You bring up a shield which nearly shatters as it strikes against you before it flies back in the air and he catches it.
Gosh, it's
Perfect.
cool.
Oh no, he's cool. What do we do?
At least he hasn't started like talking political ideology where we agree with him
Yet.
in the first half, and then
You're gonna agree with him because he's a king killer.
and then he's gonna be like, and then we have to murder everyone, and we'd be like, oh, there you go.
At the end of Tavra's turn, or at the end of Thorn's turn,
Close to monarchies.
a half-elven woman stands from her table, blade in hand. You watch as Boros' band rises up. You see Rena draw out her elven curved blade, igniting it with flame. You see Boros stand up.
No, you didn't do this to me. You're not. No, you didn't do that to me, did you?
Boros stand up, drawing out this halberd, which you see unfolding from his wrist, this warforged being, flipping out, standing up, making their way towards the center of the room, towards the large wall flanking Tavrith. And you see Tendry stand and make his way towards the west gate, towards Thorn.
You left the clue. How bad?
I don't know what you mean. What clue?
What clue?
Montage.
Moros? Red and white? Bad boys.
Yes, Boros is the Minotaur color in Magic the Gathering.
Yes! You
You-
left me
yeah,
a
I
clue!
do nerdy names. You're calling me out for nerdy names.
Ah. Oh, there was a clue there and I missed it.
It was a fun cinematic parallel.
You
I
guys
wouldn't know how
see.
to play
We
Magic.
had so much in common.
That's fine. You do see that you can see that wow, I'm losing my words here. The Bitterblade, the cloaked figure, stands up and dives towards one of the other defenders here. Looks like the Thunder. He's facing off against the Thunder brand. You see
So screwed.
Rena making her way over towards Ililie, blade in hand.
Let's dance.
And you see again, you see our dear Tendry heading over towards Thorn.
Hey, bud.
Lay down your weapons. We can stop this here.
No. Sorry.
I'm gonna
You can lay
shave
down
your
your
beard
weapon
off.
I didn't want you to be here. I am sorry for what it's worth. He's gonna make an axe attack against you.
Yeah. I made a
I'm
poor
gonna shave his
decision.
beard off.
22.
That is my AC, even with shield.
I'm shaving my beard.
You're gonna take 8
I'll
points
take
of
that.
slashing damage. And you watch for his other attack. He just, using his other attack here, he just takes his shield and shoves you backwards. It's not damage, but pushing just is going to attempt to push you. Make a strength save.
6.
6. He pushes you out of the way and begins repositioning himself to be in the entrance, like in the west gate. Over in the center, Rena taking a couple steps towards you. Hi there, love. Shall we?
Let's dance.
It was fire you didn't prefer, right? I'm gonna make my 2 attacks. Oh, that's terrible. Does a 16 hit you?
No, it doesn't.
Both of those are gonna be misses. She charges up towards you. This long elven curved blade in hand, gleaming in flame. Swing once, swing twice, swing a third time. Nothing.
Gotta hit to make it hurt.
The two half elves ish begin dancing. You do not see Boros make a direct attack here, standing in the center. At least any of the party members before he's going to spend his turn. Turns this halberd and begins spearing nobility here in the hall. So she turns towards there's an unconscious half orc wearing this like fine armor, and he just spears through the armor harmlessly and is going to continue attacking the nobility. That will be my turn.
How far away is Thalia from me? Can I get to her?
I'm sorry, I thought you said Clelier? What?
Thalia.
Oh, Thalia. Thalia is probably... Let's call it 30 feet. I'll take your movement.
I'll go to Thalia, cast Lesser Restoration.
Do you have the materials and the spell prepared?
I have the spell prepared. What is the material for it?
Diamond dust, I think?
We bought Diamond Dust.
Just double. It should say what the material components
Doesn't
are.
say on the short
Doesn't say.
version.
Sure.
Lesser
We'll assume that you purchase things because you've talked about purchasing things. That's
We
totally
bought
fine.
Diamond Dust for.
Just make sure
for
later we'll
Riverfire.
mark it off if there is a component.
What was it again?
No, there is
Lesser
no
restoration.
There's no
material
component for-
component for lesser restoration.
Greater restoration requires.
Greater
something.
restoration
Cool.
requires it.
You head up to Thalia.
Yeah.
I need you to do me a favor here.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to take this bicycle.
I'm
Give
like,
inspiration. You're like, oh no, what happens? I saw you go for dice.
Yeah.
You head
We're all
up to
nervous.
the queen. The queen is standing here, seemingly unarmed, next to Thalia. Thalia is fully unconscious, like still standing, but like full head down. You take a moment and place your hands upon this woman, this human woman who looks so young, but you know,
this is very
much-
old.
she's quite old here.
She's like
As you course your magic through her, her eyes light back up, her head comes up, and you watch as across one side of her neck, going down into beneath whatever, like this simple silken shirt and breastplate she wears. You see parts of her skin, the tattoo along her neck, begin to ignite with glowing prismatic light. Thalia's back in play.
Yay.
Yeah.
She looks at
Thalia's
you.
got a neck tattoo?
Huh? Thalia has a very large
Big spider web.
It goes. Thalia's got a huge tattoo.
I should know it was a neck tattoo.
Spider and all. The
But
black
she
widow.
she's gonna use the rest of your turn kind of. She's looking around, seeing what's going on here.
Yeah.
Were you with the kiss?
Okay,
I said I could fix this.
you did say that.
Just imagine.
Every turn, bring back a blade.
It'd be like flames.
I'm gonna use a legendary action.
I was
She
just
definitely has a
like,
pair
how
of
could I
angels.
ask for help?
Yes, he does. He definitely does. I can't metagame this, but I know what I have to do.
I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take I'm gonna use a legendary my second legendary action here with Tavrith, and I'm gonna swing my axe at his meanie.
Did your axe come back to you after you threw it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
returning axe.
I have an axe of returning. It's rude.
Ooh.
It'd be weird if it did other things too.
Ooh.
Put me down for another natural one.
Hell yeah.
He takes a step forward, swings down this massive axe. You're able to leap out of the way just in time. He's not quite getting there. That's really bad. It's gonna be Elle's turn. Elle, you're face to face with another Magus.
So, Rena, any rhyme or reason, or are your morals bought with the coin?
Money comes and goes, but there's a lot more going on than you're aware of. Why don't you drop your weapons and see what happens?
I think I'm not going to do that. That's exactly.
This is happening while we're
yeah,
doing
I
this.
think I'm not actually
We're
not
Star
gonna...
Warsing right now.
You can have a perfectly coherent conversation anytime. I'm gonna imbue a spell into my weapon.
Don't tell me what you're casting. Tell me what spell level it is. Cool. I will cast Counterspell.
Okay.
You just cast counterspell, you dumb bitch.
Can I?
You watch offhand here, takes some of the magic, pulls backwards, shattering the bits of weave you've gathered together.
Cool. I would like to use a reaction as a spell is just cast within 5 feet of me.
So you can do that before the spells work. She's
Yes.
pulling this in here. You want to use your reaction on your turn too?
Yeah, I'm gonna.
You're
I can't
10th level mages.
I can't counterspell your counterspell, but I can counterstrike it. So
All right, so this is one of your new mages features.
yeah, I'm gonna make
now
a weapon attack.
you have to hit her for this to work.
There's a 23 hit.
You begin casting a spell through your weapon here, charging some sort of magical imbued spell here. She tries to siphon the magic, and instead you thrust the blade at her, trying to stab her at this moment. That does hit.
I'm gonna need a concentration check.
I don't want to make a concentration check. 14?
My DC is 15.
Her counter spell breaks, and you may imbue your spell normally.
Amazing.
She still has the rest of her turn. Like, Elle gets to keep going.
That was all reactions.
It was all reactions, and a bonus action started the whole thing. So.
Yeah. I'm gonna need some defense.
Although it cost a lot of resources, like 3 spell slots got spent.
Better. A counterspell got spent.
Yeah. I'm going to complete my spell, and then I'm going to swing at her twice.
Go ahead and make your 2 swings.
27, 23. Both of those will
Those
hit.
will both hit.
I'm gonna go ahead. Do you need any damage over it?
No, Rena's just a lady.
Okay, so the spell I cast was a 2nd level inflict wound, so that's 4d10. Then we have, let's see.
All right, go ahead and you roll that damage for me. It's not going to take her out, so I'm going to keep going. Is that okay, Elle?
Yes, plus 12.
At initiative 10 is your ally's turn. You watch as the Thunderbrand is fighting against the Bitterblade. Things are going well over there. They get a whole lot better, however, as Thalia steps forward, gathering all the information she can, taking what is the phrase I'm looking at? Something of the situation. I'm losing my words today. I don't know what's going on. Taking
know what you're
measure
trying-
of the situation, something like that. She looks around and figures out what's going on. Places her hand on her shoulder. Look like you watch her memorize your face before she clean leaps 20 feet out into the middle of the room. She's going to charge the Bitterblade.
Yeah, plus 12.
Bitterblade's closer, and so it's like just the first one she can get to. And you watch the two of them begin fighting Bitterblade.
This will be 57 points of damage.
I'm gonna make you make a con save. Okay. You slap this horrendous slash against her, siphoning power from her. She cries out. You hear her curse in Elvish, and you see with her offhand she draws out a short sword.
Okay. Sure.
All right. Things are looking okay for now. Ismini, that's gonna be your turn.
Boros and Tavrith make a charisma saving throw. Saving throw.
I don't wanna.
Boros and Tavrith make a charisma saving throw.
Is this banishment?
Yes.
Boros disappears and doesn't come back. Boros is not from the material plane. Tavrith.
What we learned.
Okay, would a 16 pass?
No.
I will use my first legendary resistance.
That is what I thought, but it was well worth a fifth
It was
level spell slot.
fully correct. You did a very good job. Good job, Victoria.
Yeah. That was my action. I'm gonna use my movement to move around him and get in front of Jam again.
So if you're getting back to Jim, I am gonna make an AOO on you. Is that okay?
I'm gonna stand. I'm interposing.
Oh,
I'm not-
perfect. You put yourself between him, puffing up like a squirrel.
No.
No? No puff up?
No, I spit at him. I spit on him as Hakalugi spit on him. Fully the least dignified I could possibly be, and I say, if you want to kill a noble, there's one right here.
You have no idea what it's like to watch the life of these nobility fade from their eyes.
Want to see mine?
It's really hard to have gravitas when people are only quipping. Great.
He wasn't a
doesn't
quipper.
show. Huh?
I mean, he wasn't a quipper
But
originally.
in this moment, absolutely fine.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
It's me. It's not as meany as me.
You can quit.
Is Meanie...
I quit.
Your permission.
Okay. As people continue flooding out into the room, more and more of these attackers. At the end of after Ismini's turn, we're gonna go to the rest of Tavrith's men. We get a couple of attack rolls here. First, Thorn. 16.
No, because I'm still short.
My 20.
That hits.
And finally... No, you're both engaged in fights. We'll do 2 at nobles.
No, shoot me.
That's fine.
No.
You watch as some of these people coming on up begin some of them coming down trying to stab at the various nobles here. It's at this point you watch as one of the dwarves, you met him earlier, Gimden, comes up and begins bashing people with this large pewter serving tray. He wasn't armed,
Yeah.
and just beating the crap out of some of the people who've come into here, protecting as best as he can. You do see several of the nobles, unfortunately, still are taken down during this round. Additionally, both only Mai got hit, correct? Mai, you're going to take 13 total points of piercing damage as you see that 2 of these bolts strike at your armor before a third man charges at you with a dagger. And that's going to be the top of the round. Is going to go. Don't worry about it. Nothing happens over here. It'll be Tavrith's turn again. I only used 2 legendary actions, I'm realizing now. I'm going to do something at the end of turn real quick. Swing at you. I threw my axe at you. I'm gonna use... Okay. Tavrith, start this round, is going to call out... 1, 2, 3, 4. Do I have a D4? I never have a D4. I don't use daggers very often. Okay.
Oh, come on.
Okay, I'll take your taunt.
Oh, no, I just don't want you to kill Amanda's character.
I would never do that.
I don't know about this one. This doesn't feel like a winnable fight right now. I'm scared.
Tavrith is going to use his third legendary action to command an ally. So you guys see Boros gone. I can't use Boros, actually. He's not conveniently in range. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Rena here.
Do I know that he's gone for good?
No.
To keep concentration, then.
Also, doesn't he only not return if you don't break concentration?
If they're not from this plane, they just don't return.
Concentration doesn't matter. He's just gone.
Yeah, but I wouldn't know that, so I have to maintain concentration on
Feels
this valid.
weird. It feels like you should
Sure.
like feel the weave tell you don't need to maintain concentration.
For
It's a weird one.
Yeah, like
It's a
it's
weird
really
one.
like a-
minute. So there's so
Don't
many
worry. I
other
think you're going to
spells
end
we
up
can
taking damage. I'm so sorry, Victoria. Your taunt did not work because I forgot Boros was gone. I have to attack Mai. Mai is my only option besides just using a crappy attacker. I'll use a crappy attacker. Is Meanie. One of Tavrith's men is going to go ahead and make an attack with a longsword against you. It's going to be a 22 to hit
That'll hit.
for a total of 9 points of slashing damage.
Cool, you haven't got through my ward yet.
Okay, you pull up. It's now Tavrith's turn.
Ah, shit. I'm so screwed.
Perhaps I will so you taste what it's like for you to die. Perhaps I will crush your windpipe. I'm gonna make another athletics check. Make it an acrobatics or athletics check for me. Oh my gosh! Don't bother. That's a natural 20. He's going to first of his attack. He's going to pick you up once more. This time, however, I'm going to throw you.
Shit.
I'm going to throw you at Thorn.
I don't have a reaction.
Thorn. This is a math 20
To hit?
to hit you.
That's a miss.
You shielded.
I'm still shielded.
You haven't.
He hasn't gone
He hasn't
yet.
gone yet.
I am gone.
You go after Thorn or after Tavrith.
Yeah.
Is meaning you're thrown into his shield.
I'll take a damage.
Sorry.
You will. You take
He's gonna
How far away from Jam am I now?
Oh, sorry.
35, 40 feet.
Control it.
9.
I can't be that far away from Jam.
You'll take 14 points of bludgeoning damage as you crack your back against Thorn's shield.
8. 14 minus 8.
Uh,
69 minus 6. 63.
Then he's gonna step forward and make his last attack over against Thalia, because that's scary, actually.
Good, you're not attacking Jam.
Okay. As you watch, oh my god, the Bitterblade and Tavrith versus Thalia and Thunderbrand kind of clashing in the center of the room. We'll keep on going to Thorn. Your shield fades. You help Ismini get back up. What do you want to do? You've got Tendry near you. You've got several big enemies, and a bunch of Tavrith's men are just going around executing nobility.
How close is Tendry? Is he like within?
10 feet.
Oh,
Within
he
10.
backed away that far.
Not. I was thinking he's within 10 feet. He's just
Okay.
in the door.
No, I was just curious if I could just leave away, like
Yes,
Move
you
away
can
from
not get an AOO if you want.
Okay. I'm gonna spend 2 sorcery points, bonus action, cast haste on myself,
Ooh.
Whoa.
and I'm gonna run up on Tabrith and just try to be the distraction.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take my 2 swings at him.
For this first attack, give yourself advantage. This is not what he's expecting. You've got 2 allies who are attacking him.
All right,
Is
I'm
that
casting Booming Blade as my
Sweet.
yeah, 19 plus 11,
That will hit.
30.
30 hits, actually.
I hope so.
Me too. Oh, wait.
There have been games where...
you
No,
need-
we've never had a 30 not hit.
Do you need damage separate at all?
No, unless you're dealing psychic damage. As he continues to rage, this is all halved.
This is raging.
9 plus... that's 16, and then I'll take my hasted action attack.
Yeah.
22 to hit,
That'll hit.
and why can't I do math? 15 points of damage.
Okay. Both of those, you're chipping away, putting cuts into his back. Is that going to be it for your turn?
That's it.
In your turn, I'm going to use 2 legendary actions and do a wide swing. I need a dex save from you, from Thalia, and from the Thunderbrand. Thalia passes, Thunderbrand fails.
Does a 19 pass?
A 19 does pass. You're going to take half damage from this.
Okay.
Not great. 26 half to 13 slashing damage. He watches Boros.
What is that for my con save?
It's what did I just say the number was for you?
13?
13,
Oh,
so
it's
it's
just
10.
the damage I take. Okay.
The damage you take halved, or it's DC is equal to 10, or half the damage, whichever's higher.
Okay, gotcha.
So 10. It's very easy for you to maintain this.
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
Uh,
I was like,
you guys
why
can
can't I
see
do
that the Thunderbrand gets
13.
a
Close.
big blow as Tavrith grabs Rena, pushes her down, and spins with his axe, just slicing through a bunch of nearby folks here. You looking okay, by the way, Thorn?
Yeah, I'm
You're
okay.
probably doing okay.
I'm not bloodied yet.
That was at the end of Thorn's turn. We're gonna go to Rena. I'll use my bonus action to ignite my offhand weapon.
So annoying.
You don't like that?
No.
Dual wielders? Well, I can't swing with the offhand weapon, or I can't do a third attack this turn, at least. I'll go ahead and make my 2 attacks. Huh?
I want 3 attacks.
It'd be really nice, wouldn't it? Just use a dagger in your offhand. I'm gonna first attack with the Elven Curve Blade, second attack with the short sword. 4th natural 1 for the short sword, but we're going to be, that is a 26 for the Elven Curve.
Yeah, I can't shield against that.
All right, do you want to use your reaction on this at all?
It hasn't been my turn yet. I already used my reaction.
Oh, true. You're going to take... oh,
Fortunately.
it's going to be 14 points of slashing damage and 6 points of fire damage.
Okay. 14 of the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's do that first. And then 6, that's 12.
Yes. Strikes a good blow against you, cutting through the upper layer of one of your shoulders here. She just turns to you with a smile, kicks you in the chest, giving herself a little bit of space. That's be her turn. We'll go to Mai. Elle, you're on deck.
Is there another blade that's down? Or was Thalia the only blade that was
It's
right here?
chaotic in here. Go ahead and give me a quick perception check.
Good at these.
22.
One second.
Mine locates the most powerful person in the room with the subtitle that appears.
Like, let
The
me
first
get allies.
episode.
You're gonna glow like in a video game that's telling you where the objective is.
Fiddle, why did you quit?
I don't want to look at Victoria when I say this, but you do locate Frhagar Hammerborn.
I'm gonna go to Frhagar Hammerborn and I'm gonna cast Restoration.
So
You can just pop these off.
here's what I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
I will say there is a skill challenge to be involved in this.
Okay.
You're over by the king, which is good. There's lots of folks over here. Frhagar is on the other side of the room by where the dwarves were. I'm going to ask for the
I'll
following.
dash and action surge.
That is it.
That's
That is
it.
it. There
That's
you go.
solution.
I was going to, basically, yes. Thank
Anything
you.
to get Frigger Hammerborn in the fight.
Oh my god!
Yep.
Amanda, you were
so much-
clinching.
You were
This is so big!
Yeah.
You have got this.
It's like, Blades, this is your job.
You're like, I have you emoji.
Yeah, literally,
Like,
bad time. What's going on here?
You're building a roster.
Yeah.
Oh, I can prepare for this. Here's all of the blades of Isle. And delivered to you on a silver platter.
Let me. Okay, yeah, that happens.
I'm so glad we got May.
Oh, it's too early, Finny.
King Killer.
She goes into a rage. She's furious. You watch as she stands up, like just burying her hands out like claws. She's not armed. She's gonna find a sword, I think, somewhere. And
I'll hand her my sword. I carry a sword on me at all times.
takes your sword gladly and leaps into the fray.
Here you go, Bringer.
Good morning.
Before you use the sword, go kill someone.
She leaps into battle. That's horrifying.
Welcome back to the Hammerborn campaign.
Fine. Hammerborn is here. Y'all can sell t-shirts. Hammerborn's here. We're fine.
Where's Vobril?
If you have more than one, you should really get him to marry into the family.
I'm trying.
I'm gonna use my third and final legendary action. I gotta stem the bleeding. I'm gonna throw my axe again.
Who?
I'm gonna throw it at Mai.
Oh, well, you've been very effective.
I keep bringing up people.
Mai, 27 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
How many passes does it take to solve one cleric?
2 ones.
Ooh.
That sucks.
Oh.
You do 20 points of slashing damage. The axe flies across the battle. Friggar has to duck underneath it. Maybe it was intended for her. Maybe it was intended for you. You'll never know. You try to dive out of the way, but end up crashing into one of the kegs here, taking a bit of damage here. That's going to be a total of, what did I just say it was?
20.
20 points of slashing damage. The axe then flies back across the room into his hands, and the battle continues. Scary turn. Scary, scary. I'm not giving you another one for bringing a blade up, but that was horrifying. That is L's turn, is meaning you're on deck. You're still locked into combat with another magus here.
I was so stressed a moment ago about Jam, but now I feel totally fine. So there's no danger in Bossing Say. I'm going to.
You're 10 feet from Jam.
Yes, I'm going to. I have to deal with Rena before I can, because she's going to follow me. I'm going to imbue a spell into my weapon. You gonna do anything, Rena? You want to do the dancey dance again?
I don't have Counter-Strike. You know what? I'm gonna try to counterspell again. I'm doing the dance.
We're doing it again.
Yes. Once again, you try to imbue your blade. She tries to grab at your wrist to siphon it out, dropping her offhand weapon, trying to siphon this power.
Okay, a 15.
A 15 is gonna be a miss.
Okay.
Wait, no. Magical.
And it's
Reroll
an
that.
attack roll.
Just reroll it.
We've always been weird about this. Just roll 1 die.
Okay. 19.
That hits. Okay.
There we go.
You have to make your check though. Is that correct? I make my save actually.
Let me go
Above a
ahead.
20.
Let me go ahead and roll that damage. Okay, so you pass the save, so I don't get redded, but I still add. That's an additional 7 plus 6, 13 points of damage.
I counterspell Rena's spell.
Oh, so you do your spell effects too, Clella.
Oh,
You also now get you now get to take your turn now that all of that's resolved.
yes. Oh yeah, my spell goes off.
What spell did you cast?
Vampiric
You're
touch.
scary.
My last vampiric touch.
Oh, because you guys fought earlier today, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, my
low
last.
on
I only have
resources.
2 third level spell slots. I already used my Pearl of Power.
Vampiric touch. Better get some of that health back.
I'm
Yeah, so
prepped for
add-
the tournament, not for regular combat. I have a different set of spells.
Sorry. So I will add these now. So in addition to the damage I did to her, Vampiric Touch will go off. And that's going to be 11 additional points of necrotic damage. I believe I heal for half. Let me double check the rules. Half. So 11,
5.
I heal for 5.
Awesome.
Now I get to take my turn. I'm gonna swing twice. That was added to the thing.
Yeah. Technically, the vampiric touch happens on the first of these attacks. It doesn't matter though.
Yeah. Okay. The 2 attacks, that's gonna be a 27 and a 16.
16 is a miss, so only 1 hit.
Okay, so I don't roll these again.
Right. You only vampiric touch once per turn.
Cool. That's going to be 17 points of additional damage.
Oh my gosh. Rena is past bloodied. Amazing. You watch as Elle fighting against an opponent with a much longer weapon, just taking the advantage, stepping in closer, getting inside of her reach, making it inconvenient for her to use her longer elven curved blade. Basically, you're dancing much better now than you did earlier.
This is the dancing I'm not bad at.
Okay. It's gonna be your ally's turn. You watch as Frhagar and Thalia begin just teaming up. You watch as the two of them really bouncing off of each other. Frhagar is going to, on the way to join Thalia, just be making swings as she goes, taking down more and more of these of Tavrith's soldiers he's brought in here. All of these people here take swing, 1 swing, 2 swing, 3 swing, going for more help here. Let me refer to the Frhagar stats. Frhagar leaping through the combat. You see that at some point she's found an axe as well, so is now fully dual wielding as she charges through here. One of the blades, keeping her back towards Sigurd, protecting the king, doing her job here. Thalia is going to continue fighting against the Bitterblade, letting quite another large hit against Bitterblade, and that is then going to continue on. We're going to go to Tavrith's men. Now that 2 blades are up, I don't really think I can afford to keep attacking the nobles. So I think what we're going to do... Yeah. I'm going to ask for dex saves from all of the party.
Oh, but that's not bad.
It will be halved on a success, not zeroed in. Be 14 or 7 is how this is going to work. So you a series of blows coming from bolts of arrows, bolts and arrows, swords, bludgeoning weapons, as more of these warriors kind of push in, doing their best, but quickly losing the numeric advantage as the battle goes on. Some of them pulling back. The success rate on this one is a 16. It's a DC 16 dex save.
Is it 7 or 14?
7 or 14.
Cool. I pass.
Pass, fail.
Fail. So the damage is 14?
Damage is 14 on a fail.
Okay.
So several of you taking attacks from more of these weaker soldiers. These represent kind of multiple hits each. Some people charging as best they can.
Do we
You're
need
pushing
to
you
roll
back.
concentration checks?
You would need to roll concentration saves if you're
I have to
concentrating.
roll this concentration stack.
Yep.
Oh, I'm great.
I rolled a natural 1.
Ouch.
What were you concentrating? Oh, you lose vampiric touch?
It's so bad.
That sucks.
I was completely depending on that to keep my health up. That's fine.
Okay.
I'll be fine.
We go to the top of the round. Thorn. You see approaching, there is a man in a long blue robe walking with a silver staff coming through the western side, who calls out, "Tendry! We must away! Come!" Probably about 30 or 40 feet just calling out, and you see Tendry kind of standing there, begins backing up. That is going to be the end of Mal Byron's turn. Let's go to Tavrith, guys. I was out of legendary actions that I really wanted them back. Now, Thorn, you said you're my distraction?
Mm-hmm.
You have 2 blades and thorn.
I do. I think I'm going to split my attacks evenly. Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. Thorn, you got 2 axe swings coming at you, okay, buddy?
Sure.
$17 is a miss, right?
Yeah, because I was 19 right now.
Yeah. And then 25 is the hit, of course.
Right. I can't even shield that.
Just barely, though.
Swinging
Yeah.
once, swinging twice, turning around, because as he's like focusing on you, Thalia comes up from behind with her long rapier, and then turns to engage her some more here. 29 points of slashing damage.
Ouch. So that would be I need to roll 14?
16.
16?
Oh, that's not how math works. Sorry, always go down to the next even number. I said 29 is what I said the damage was. So it's 28, so it's DC 14.
Oh, we're good. I rolled a natural 20.
Awesome, fantastic. That counts for the crit corner.
It does.
But you do take the 29 points of slashing damage as he continues fighting as hard as he can.
Yeah, I'm
you looking
hurting.
rough?
Yeah, I'm hurting real bad.
Okay, cool. That is then going to be continuing on. Tavrith looking around, a bit concerned. He's going to provoke from you. And he's going to begin making his way towards the western entrance.
26 to hit.
26 will hit.
14 points of damage.
14 will be a hit. 14 points of damage, sorry. 7 points of damage. Excellent. Slashing against him as he backs away. He's not fully running. You see, as he's moving, he's going chopping at some of the defenders and nobles alike.
So you're heading towards the gate where...
He's heading towards the western exit. The single door. The large gates have long since closed.
Gotcha.
Because they're mostly stuck. You have two obvious exits: the east and the west. Nothing has happened with the eastern door. It's just been behind the defense of the king and a bunch of the nobles. It seems that most of the people still alive on the western side of the room have been fully removed and brought over. It's like they're mostly safe here. Thorn, it's your turn. You're on deck.
How far away is he from me right now?
10, 15.
Okay.
No
I'm gonna
problem at all.
Hexblaze curse him.
I'm cursed. I don't like that.
And I'm gonna do the big boy blast. I'm gonna 4th level not burning hands.
Scorching Ray?
Scorching Ray. And then Eldritch Blast. Wow. Yeah.
Roll all these hits together, buddy. All this. He does resist force damage, in case you were curious.
It's so uncommon.
It is.
It's so scary.
He doesn't
that he has
resist
that.
psychic damage, though.
You resist force damage?
Because of Connor.
Because of the force pendant.
Because of Force Pendant.
Nice. I was like, just like Connor. Like
Connor gave me a magic item. Because I was down a lot.
Nat 20.
That's 20. Nice. That's on Scorching Ray. That was a 10, right?
Yeah. No, that was a 16.
Oh, 16. Okay.
Armor class is 19.
Okay.
Just, I realize I should just say it, just to make this easier.
So,
All but the 4.
yeah. So we got 5 hits coming in.
It's gonna be so much damage, isn't it?
And just the force damage have.
So all of it is half.
All of this.
You resist everything but psychic.
10, 20,
You guys have seen this before.
30,
Just doing it for me.
34.
Plus another 14. So
48.
48 plus 10.
it's 58.
58.
So that's going to be 29 points of damage.
Yeah. Oh, and I Hexblaze cursed him, so all those have.
So 4d6 or 5d6?
Well, it's 5 times my proficiency bonus, so another 20.
So you did 39 after having it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Huge strike as you fire. You take all of these bolts, pulling back, drawing back like an archer and his bow. And as you do all of these individual bolts, they coalesce into a single point and fire through his shoulder. You see a blazing hole like a bullet form. You can see clean through Tavrith's shoulder. He turns back, pissed off that you've managed to hurt him so greatly.
Remember that. Remember that.
There is a genuine smile on his face. Tavrith turns to you as legendary action at the end of your turn. I had legendary
To
action.
jazz on you.
Perhaps you will be the one to pick up the pieces of the world when I'm through with it. Or perhaps you'll be another corpse in my path. And I'm going to go ahead and...
Sorry, what?
I'm going to throw my axe.
I really wish you would have just let me prepare Hold Monster.
This is going to be 23 to hit.
I'll shield.
You shield that?
Yep.
That's horrifying.
Bye.
Once again, the shield nearly buckling under the weight of this attack. So, shield is the best.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's so good. It absolutely compares to several spells that are like 5th level. It's really good. The blade comes back to him, and that is going to then be Rena's turn. Rena's so hurt. I'm gonna make a wisdom save. Yeah, okay. You watch as she turns and looks past you
Do I know what
towards
she's looking
Princess Josephine.
at? Don't try it.
I'm gonna make an acrobatics check as I try to leap over you. This will provoke.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Murder her?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a crime.
Okay. You watch as she takes a step forward, trying to leap over you. I'm going to give you advantage on this roll because of how she's positioned.
I really wish I crit on 19. I feel like I rolled them so
Yeah, a
often.
keen weapon would be your ideal thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, a 29 is going to hit. Damn. 20 points of damage.
Rena
How much health does she have left?
leaps over you. You leap as she's
If I don't know what it is. Non-lethally.
sure.
I'm trying to cut her open.
Oh, I would.
As she leaps over you, you swing
some-
up, catching her close to her hip on the inside, spilling a bit of blood, but more importantly, as she lands behind you and tries to roll, she stumbles out of it, pulling a dirk from her hip, getting ready to go and attack Josephine. You find your blade at her neck. She's done. She's mechanically 0 HP. You can conquer if you want to conquer. As she looks up to you, fear in her eyes, you take and the blunt pommel of your weapon, knock her unconscious. Josephine is unharmed.
I'm gonna set
Well-
her clothes on fire.
That's a weird thing to say, Victoria.
That is a weird thing to say.
I'm just gonna go over there and strike a match.
I was thinking we could question her later, or we could just murder her instead.
I would rather set her on fire, honestly.
She seems to be a notch in the system and not perhaps the source of the evil.
Oh no, she's not wildly evil. Can't
Kill
set her
her.
on fire.
There's
That's
not that many
Mai's
summer
turn.
elves.
Mai,
Just
you
kill
can
them
see that
willy-nilly.
Freygar's doing her best to keep back the bulk of these of Tavris' forces. Freygar seems to be fighting off not the most powerful people, but keeping the bulk of the room contained. Because you guys have been focusing on the leadership that's going on here. You see that Thalia at this point, this is happening technically it's after your turn, but you watch as her blade finds the heart of the bitter blade, coming through, drenched in crimson, and pulls it out, and the bitter blade falls. What would you do on your turn?
How far am I from the Minotaur?
Let's call it 45 feet.
Okay, then never mind on that.
I'm so sorry. You went to get Freygar last turn, which is the western side of the room. I'll say about 25 feet.
I'm gonna get into melee range with him, and I'm gonna cast a spell.
Well, you, though Thorn saw a wizardy person before, I also described how far away he was. I don't have anyone around to counterspell you.
Make me a Wisdom saving throw.
Not bad. I'm not terribly unwise. That is a 24.
Oh, you pass.
What happens?
I think nothing. Yeah, nothing. I was bestowing curse.
Do you have your?
Take,
No, I've already used mine.
you take yourself forward, reaching out, trying to imbue this body with curse, but you feel this natural resilience. You felt magical beasts before, but it definitely seems there's a hardiness to this creature that's more than you've encountered. It's like fighting the dragon earlier today. This is a powerful being. I'm gonna make a legendary action at the end of your turn. I'm gonna swing my axe at you.
Yeah, I came into melee range.
21 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
It's another double ones on these things.
Jeez.
Terrible. Like you saw that, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to buy an actual dunce hat for all the ones.
It's gonna be 15 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And that's my second legendary action. I'm trying to keep myself honest here as we continue going. Continuing on, that's going to be L's turn. L, Rena's unconscious. Bitterblade is down. You see further off, the Furbolg companion of Boros' band has been defeated. You can see there's a number of the people who the Knights of Issel here have pinned down the large member of Boros' band. Got him subdued. What are you doing?
I get to finally join in the little fun punching bag party in the middle. So I'm gonna also go to attack the Minotaur.
Okay, you're slightly faster. You're close to the middle. I'll go ahead and allow you to get there this
Cool.
turn.
Can I get there in a strategic position? Am I able to flank with it?
No, we're doing Theater of the Mind, and that doesn't exist here.
No,
Cool.
totally fine.
Yep.
Would rather ask not.
Nope,
Okay,
totally
I'm
fine.
going to imbue a spell into my weapon using all of my resources.
Awesome. Charging up towards
I
Tavrith.
only have first level spell slots left, which sucks. Okay, first swing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go ahead and swing both. 20. The 14's not gonna hit, so one hit.
One hit. All right. Swing up against him.
That's these two, and that was inflict wounds, so that's gonna be 3d10. Why did I put my d10s back?
You got rid of Boros, and you guys, Boros was really strong.
I'm still concentrating on that because he comes back if I lose concentration in 1 minute.
That's so cool. None of my people are wizardy. They don't know anything about this, but that's really cool.
I went and I looked up forum answers
Okay, that's
for
what I
exactly
thought.
how
They have to get to the end of the concentration.
to
That's
the
what I
end
thought.
of concentration.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things I cannot do this fight. Like hex.
That's only 31 points of damage.
Okay, I mean, that's really good because it is halved, but that's still a good amount of damage. Okay, as you strike against him, Tavrith is not bloodied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do want to mention. You're having a
But I
hard
tried
time.
to curse him.
You're having a hard time getting. Yes, exactly. Really clever there. You're having a hard time getting past his natural resilience here. Be it the armor, be it him raging, you're not entirely certain what's giving him his power. I'm going to use my third and final legendary action at the end of your turn. Are you done with your turn?
Yeah, I'm done with my turn.
I've been rolling my damage dice with my d20s, and it feels better this way. Does a 25 hit?
Yes, I cannot shield that.
I got a 9 and a 6, and I was like, wait, which one's... Okay, we're fine. It's going to be 31 points of slashing damage. As you charge up to him, stabbing in the back, you see he's got some blood running on the side. He's taking some actual reasonable damage here.
I'm going to take it in order to and use the reply to swing back instead of reducing it.
You're not going to reduce it? Okay, make your attack with
That
advantage
might
on
be the
it.
wrong call, but we will see. They're not 20s. It's gonna hit, but sorry, 16.
16 after 8. All right. Stabbing at this berserking barbarian once more. You're not feeling super confident here. Taking these swings, taking this damage where you need it. That's at the end of your turn. Is going to then move on to your. This was technically already the end of your turn. Moving on to your allies, you see Thalia finishes off Bitterblade. You see Freygar holding the line with. Put me down for another natural one. Freygar's doing her best. It doesn't like at this point. You see that people are beginning to move back. The barrier of where the east and west is divided is being pushed forward, with quite a few of the living champions, quite a few of the nobles who've mostly dwarves who've done their best to stay up are standing and trying to keep their consciousness here. Things are looking pretty even. Things are looking pretty good because you've taken out most of their leadership here. Go to the top of the round.
You have skipped me.
I did skip you. I did skip you. I apologize.
Is there a 20-foot
It's me.
diameter of only enemies? Or that I could position in such a way where 10 feet of that would be in?
Oh, sure.
Great, Shatter.
Oh, amazing, Victoria. I'm vulnerable to this damage, and I do fail.
Cool, well...
In the center of the room, close to where Freygar is, but not close enough as to hurt Freygar, you explode a section of the room. Tables bursting, kegs of beautiful barracks beer and ale bursting onto the floor. It's terrible.
Roll this one.
As splinters fly everywhere. How much damage are these boys taking?
13, so double that.
Oh my gosh, 26? You can tell that the forces here have been primarily routed, and you see that several of them begin turning tail, holding up shields where they can, trying to make it out the western door.
And I
to
go
cover-
continue my movement to stand next to Jam.
You're on Jam. The rest of the party's over with Tavrith, and you're with Jam?
Yeah.
This is excellent positioning.
Oh, and I'm
everyone.
gonna keep an eye on that wizard. Into entry.
He's far past out the western door. You can see that Tavrith is following that direction towards the
Why
wizard.
is he calling for Tindri?
Tenji was the only person he could see.
They're retreating.
The wizard never came into the room.
I mean, the man had some successes here, but...
We got Rena.
Oh, we're gonna be shipping her to the Solstice Citadel. To answer for her crimes.
Anything else in your turn this meeting?
Oh, that's fine for me. I don't have anything else I can do.
Half the people still inside the room are going to use their turn trying to escape, pushing through, taking attacks of opportunity, dashing as necessary, trying to make their way through here. All of you have the opportunity, the three of you who are on Tavrith rather, have the opportunity to use your reactions if you'd like to attack them or save them for future things. Mai, you're passing on that. You don't have a reaction. Thorn, do you want to use it on these?
I don't have a reaction. I shielded.
You shielded, perfect. Making their way out.
Direction. I need to turn to the
The
wizard.
other half of them, however, are going to continue fighting. Some of them are focusing over here on Thalia, trying to subdue her as best they can. Not successfully as far as you can tell here. And we'll go ahead and I'll roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. God, always.
Always
I
mine.
feel like it's always Amanda. I'm so sorry, Amanda.
Start lying.
15 to hit is a
Okay.
miss against you, right?
That's a miss. Yep.
Yeah, that's a miss against you. You'll take no damage here, as several of them break against your back, but are unable to find a weak spot in your armor. You get like basically a trio of these false knights behind you, trying their best, but you're able to just swing your stick at them and knock them back as best you can. Going to the top of the round, you see the wizard in the blue robe is going to move out of line of sight further in that hallway. All three of you are aware of him now. This wizard, human, you can see he's got like an older human, so like that has gray hair, large silver staff, and silver chains over his robe. Here, Chloe, I'll go ahead and give you a miniature for this person.
I commit the face to memory. I'm so nervous you were going to tell us it was someone we knew.
Nope, unfamiliar. That's gonna be Tavrith's turn. And now I have to make some real decisions with Tavrith. There's no Thalia next to me, but I also want to get the hell out of here. Well, I think to start,
I'm
Yeah.
familiar with this mini.
I'm gonna start and I'm gonna swing at Thorn. I think that makes a lot of sense. Thorn, you look really hurt, right?
Yeah, I'm hurting pretty bit.
All right.
Bad.
You got your shield up, but I'm pretty good at these. That's gonna get you. That's gonna be 28 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Max damage or mid damage?
12. It's a lot of damage. Almost. It's gonna be 38 points of slashing damage. He turns to you, bringing the blade overhead. Maybe a con save. As
A
Thorn-
concentration or just a constitution save?
Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
Excuse me. And guys, I am aware that we did not do the middle, the pause. Is that okay? Is everyone okay?
15.
15. Thorn.
Or no, wait. 16, sorry.
16. Thorn, you're fine. You're very, very injured and unconscious, but nothing else happens here. You were thrown back easily 10 or so feet. He strikes you, kicks you across the room, and you were unconscious. I have more attacks to do.
Hey! I don't want him to swing again at Thorn.
Yeah.
I flew across the room, apparently.
I'm so injured and have no reaction, but it's fine.
Another of you.
Do you mean like blonde or elven or
Yeah, I'm gonna grab it. Oh.
noble?
Make me an acrobatics check.
I'm good at these.
I'll give you another
that
natural
good. The one thing I'm good at. I got an 18.
20. I got a 31.
It's not even possible for me to roll that high.
And then go ahead and make me a con save.
Not good. Con? 15 on the con save.
15 can be a fail. You'll take 15 points of bludgeoning damage as he attempts to crush L in his hands.
Ouch. I'm pretty.
Maybe I shouldn't stop the wizard from teleporting them out.
I'm gonna use my last attack. Don't worry, bad things. I'm gonna throw you at Asmini.
Can I fight him?
You have a reaction?
No.
Well, I'm not gonna let you do anything for free then.
Warding flare that so that way you have
I
disadvantage.
have disadvantage, which was that's a good thing. Okay, would have been an 18 on the die. Instead is an 8. So that's gonna be a 19 to hit you.
That'll hit me.
That'll hit you. It's a 19 to hit you.
I guess
Both.
I could shield. Am I gonna use my reaction for anything else this turn? I'm too far away from the wizard. I'll shield.
All right, so only L is gonna take this damage. 17 points of bludgeoning damage as you strike against
I'm
his
out.
mini shield. Wow.
2 down, 2 to go.
Hey, we can both be dead in the corner.
Strikes down at Thorn, kicks him across the room, picks up Elle before crushing and tossing her at Ismini, and is going to use his movement, provoking. You
No.
use Warrior Flare.
I didn't ward
Uses
flare.
movement, begins marching out. You can see, you all can still see him. It's not like he's invisible. He's going down a hallway that's roughly about 10 to 12 feet, leaving out the western side.
I'm counting sheep right now. I don't see anything.
I had a whole turn I'm dreaming of.
I still think I'm fighting.
Twitching like a dog.
That is going to be Thorn's turn to make a death save. I'm so sorry. I forgot to tell you this. You don't need to make a death save because you were not attacked with a lethal attack. Thorn, you are sleeping, and in your dreams you've got... What are you dreaming about?
I think I'm still fighting.
Still fighting? You're just unconscious, just kicking your feet a little bit. You look a little scary, actually, that way, but you're fine.
Randomly
Sorry,
the
you don't need to
sword.
be making death saves. I forgot.
You're not noble.
That will be Mai's turn. Elle, you're on deck.
Can I tell that he's not making death?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like it would be a DC 5 medicine check to just see that someone's not in danger of dying.
Then I'm gonna cast Healing Word on Elle.
Yeah, taking just a few steps over, healing word, imbuing Elle with magical light.
I returned.
In Ismini's arms, I'm sure.
7 points of healing.
7!
I needed that.
And then Mai, are you following after Tavarth? Or are you staying with your friend?
I'm staying with my friends.
Okay. That will then be Elle's turn.
Do you want me to
Sorry, I'll let you know. I'm going to go ahead and use my charge legendary action to just run. Still in line of sight. Not run to the corner. Cost me 2.
I gasped back into consciousness. My, we gotta stop eating like this.
Did you die?
Stop dying, please.
Too. I try not to. I kept having to burn my reactions on things. So I couldn't reduce damage a single time this turn. I'm guessing I'm too far away to get him.
Unless you're gonna... You could dash to get to him, but you'll be alone.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I'll die again. Thorn is clearly stable. They're clearly running. I'm just
taking a good amount of damage.
Let me throw a firebolt at him. I got range.
Yeah, you can absolutely... It's like 120 feet. Yeah, you take a couple steps away from his meanie,
It's really
lob a bolt of flame directly down the hall. Yeah, just... You're bowling.
yeah.
Bowling for Minotaur.
I just had I've been playing somewhat of a melee character too long because I was like, I only get to throw one spell at them. Like I don't get to swing twice. That's gonna be a 19. 19.
Yeah, 19 hits exactly. It's armor.
I don't often throw spells.
2d10.
2d10's not bad.
It's great.
You don't add anything to it though.
I know. 6.
6 points of damage.
Feels like nothing.
Half to 3.
I will check to make sure everyone's okay.
At the end of your turn, no one is close enough for me to throw my axe. I won't lie. I can't throw my axe like 90 feet.
Can I sit on Rena just in case she wakes up?
Sure.
Yeah.
You want to literally sit, or are you like putting your boot on her back?
Putting my boot on her back.
Yeah. Okay. And keep on going. You watch as your allies taking down what's left in this room, securing this position. Thalia calling out, barking out orders at people like she's known these soldiers her whole life. At certain points, Thalia is like calling out to you. It's like they need aid. Go. Secure the eastern doors. Like she's barking out instructions here. There's no more of these major enemies in this room, however. This means you're the next player.
I'm gonna yell out, do you want me to stop the wizard from getting him out of here?
I say do it. We're pretty hurt, but like...
I have 120 feet of movement. Do you want me to stop the wizard?
You could... I mean... All of the most powerful heroes will eventually be awakened. So yeah.
Cool. I move my 30 feet. I thunder step behind the wizard because he's definitely not 120 feet away.
No, he's in line of sight.
Yeah, I move behind him. I am within 60 feet of him to counterspell anything he does.
Wait, now you're in the middle of the enemies. I didn't... Okay.
I'm on the other side of the wizard.
That's not what I thought you meant, is meaning...
We have to have a battle map now.
1 sec. Okay. This. Let's talk about what's going on here. Let me make sure I understand fully what all is happening here.
I didn't know you're gonna 1v1 the wizard.
Does anyone have the condition ring box? Does anyone know where that one is?
Should be on Connor's side. Or at the end.
It's not on my side anymore.
Not over here.
Oh, darn. I should have asked about this before the session. That's okay.
I'm gonna die, but it's gonna be fun.
Is me, Alex, go ahead and bring us a battle map here. I'll try to
Hi,
center it
everybody.
somewhat.
You're good.
I still have a 3rd level spell slot.
Is Meanie, where would you like to place yourself in here? You guys were coming from this direction over here. What would you like to do?
Who's that other person?
Tendry?
We'll talk about all of these. You can't see Tendry, but Tendry's gonna be
Cool.
here.
I'm gonna go on the other side of the wizard from the Minotaur.
Like this?
Oh yeah.
Is that where you want to be?
Mhm.
Amazing. This is your bonus action to cast on her step? Or action?
That'd be my action.
It's your action. You appear, and I make con saves for both of them, I believe?
No, it was from where I left from.
Oh, okay.
So
you
I just-
explode, shattering parts of the hallway where you were. No one's hurt at all. And you appear here. There is you see this man in long blue robes, silver chains. You see Tavrith, genuine surprise in his eyes. You also can tell his rage has faded because he's not attacked this last turn. Finally, you see behind you Tendry, looking quite surprised and a little bit injured. A dead Knight of Issel lies on the ground.
I'll kill you next.
Okay. Miss Meanie, is there anything else you're doing on your turn? I need to know because you know Tavrith goes very soon after you, yes?
I'm waiting for the wizard to go. Everybody else needs to come with me. I was gonna grab Fregger on my way out, but I didn't think to say it, so.
Okay. This is huge. I'm excited. I have no idea how this is gonna work. You watch as the wizard, as you've been putting it, is going to take a few steps out. He will technically provoke if you have work. Do you have Warcaster, right?
Oh yeah, I have
Do
Warcaster.
you want to use your reaction to use Warcaster? Is my question.
No, not at all. I'm waiting for the wizard to go.
You watch as he takes a few more steps, looks at you. I will begin casting a spell.
I will counterspell your spell. It does not matter.
What
It
level?
It is a 4th level counterspell.
Let me double check something because I wrote the text but I didn't write the actual spell level. Let me double check. As he steps over to this open balcony, this beautiful night's skyline of Issel here. The balcony itself, it's got a small railing on it. Otherwise, you're about 25 feet above the ground. This is a 6th level spell.
16 plus 5, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 plus 4, 22, 25.
25 is in fact enough to beat the DC 16 check you had to make there. As you counter the spell, he turns and looks at you. Tavrith, deal with her. Before I start Tavrith's turn, I am going to use my legendary action on Tavrith. I'm going to throw my axe at you. Is Meanie, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen. Well, I need verification. I mean, natural 20. Reminder for Connor when he gets back. It's gonna be 51 points of slashing damage.
That's enough to take me out. No, wait.
No way.
I just cast counterspell too, so I need to add more health to this thing.
I was like,
Counterspell's a 3, so a 4, so a 9. 9, how much damage did you do?
51.
51? Okay.
What do you have? 2 health?
I'm not telling you.
That's fair, actually. It's Tavrith's turn. The blade itself. I want you to tell me what happened to you in that last.
Oh gosh, I'm bleeding out.
What did the blade do? Are you slashed? Are you? What does it
There's
look like?
probably a gut hanging out at this point. I got very injured. That was most of my health.
Yeah. Stabbed through the wizard. You're like kneeling at this point. It is Tavrith's turn. Okay, what am I going to say in 6 seconds?
She barely wound down.
This was very brave, but very foolish.
He's going to go ahead and take step closer to his meeting. At this point, you guys would, the people who were in the original room, the rest of the party, Tavrith is going to step out of view. Tavrith stands over you, raises his hand, the axe flies out from your belly, catches in his hand.
You seem better than this. A shame, really.
I'm going to make my attack. You have anything you'd like to say to him?
No.
You're just staring into his eyes, memorizing every feature.
For when I kill him later.
A 17.
That beats me by 1. I can't do anything about it.
It's going to be 31 points of slashing damage.
And we're out.
I didn't realize how injured you were.
I just did 80 damage to her.
Yeah, I didn't think that.
I have 69 health.
Nice.
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 So
But I didn't think
the crit was crazy.
to go after Wizard into
Also, I did get a crit.
Like,
Another crit.
Cool. That was the
He got an at
50
20.
something damage.
He did
Yeah, he
51
got a nat
damage to
20.
me.
Yeah, nice. Nice.
I have effectively 80 health, basically.
From your point of view, here's what everyone else sees. You can turn off the battle map, actually, Alex. My
Cool.
apologies. You watch as
pain.
Ismini is knocked back by a thrown axe. Tavrith steps forward. You see the axe raise and drops, a streak of crimson striking against the polished walls on the inside of the etched citadel. Ismini's body out of view. What is everyone else doing?
Dashing over
I'm
there.
casting Expeditious Retreat, and I'm there. Let me make sure.
Let me look at the initiative order so I know how the rest of this
First of all,
works.
I have
Tavrith attacks Ismini.
Is he gonna do anything else?
He does not execute Ismini.
Interesting.
It is Mai's turn. Mai, what would you like to do?
I want to dash over there.
Dashing, you're making a good chunk of the way there, but you're not quite to the corner. Elle, it is your turn.
I cast Expeditious Retreat, and I move. I can move 70 feet with just the dash bonus action.
You get to
Part of
that
casting
corner.
Spell. I still have.
You still have movement left.
I still have movement left.
Here's what you see. You watch as there is you see a wizard who is walking towards the balcony. You see Ismini crumpled on the ground. You see a cut from just by her ear down into her, into like her clavicle, essentially. And she's bleeding. Tavrith holds an axe above her and stares at you. He's not in a guarded stance here. He's breathing a bit heavily. He's taking a fair bit of damage here.
Just let me take her.
Wait.
Please don't kill her.
So are you going to hold for your turn?
I'm begging, literally begging. Please don't kill her. You know I can't stop you from doing it. All I can do is ask.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
With advantage. Good, because this is 23.
Would you die in her stead?
Yeah. But she would be so mad at me if I did.
Now, Byron, cast the spell.
You watch as the other wizard looks to you, begins casting a spell. If you'd like to try to identify it, you can do so. It doesn't.
Yeah,
cause
I
any
would
harm.
like to identify it.
Sure. Make an Arcana check for me. Mai, you're coming up. You're charging
11.
up as this happens, huh?
11.
You can tell it's a spell related to the Conjuration School, and because you're close to the meeting, I'll tell you some sort of teleportation spell is being cast, not a killing thing spell.
Just don't take her with you.
You have made a wise choice. Walk away. And Tavrith is going to turn and walk towards the wizard. Mai, you're able to round the corner to see this kind of as it's how initiative works here, the spell is technically cast before you get here. The spell itself, you watch as an oval-shaped portal of light appears, firing a beam of light down into the city streets on the other side of the wall. This arcane gate appears just on the balcony, and you watch as Tendry looks at Mai, looks at El, and slowly walks with the other ones. They do not touch Ismini. You watch as one of them, as they step into the portal, this strange blinking sensation. You're very with minimal understanding, like now that you've seen it work, you can walk through it. It is an option to walk through that to be where they are. Mai, you're here. You watch all of it. You're able to see this as happening.
I'm going to Ismini to
Can you? Yeah.
Would you like to make
Heal.
your death save, please? Just to know.
Pass.
Okay.
I'll cast Cure Wounds on Ismini.
Doing your best to bring Ismini up. Ismini, your wounds begin to seal, but you're not in a safe spot.
I got it.
I don't think
Not quite bisected.
12 points of healing.
It's sunk deep into like your clavicle's right? Clavicle into your shoulder. Like it's a huge gash here. But you heal some up here. Mai's turn is technically after Tavrith, so you don't see them walking out, but you can see the arcane gate. This spell is somewhere, like looking at it, it's something's a little bit strange about it. It's about 500 feet. What do you do?
Are you really gonna go through?
Thorn, it is at this point that you wake up, seeing there's one of these.
We did leave you.
There is that's okay. You see that above you is an angry dwarven woman's face. You all right? You see that she drops the potion vial at her side.
Did we win?
Next, she stands up. You see that she's got a small crate of chests and is walking around doing her best. Frhagar has just woken you up. Standing up, kind of looking around. In a little bit, you can see your friends start heading out over that way if you want to.
I send Squawk through the gate.
You really want to keep going?
I send Squawk through the gate.
Make me a stealth check with Squawk with advantage because it's dark on the other side of the gate, and he's literally a black bird.
Blackbird.
So you haven't done it.
It is at best a 17. 18.
That's enough.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Nice.
This is so cool.
69.
Giving this to Victoria.
I don't go through, but I send Squawk.
Alex, do you have any somewhat creepy music you could maybe give us? Yeah. That would be awesome. Thank you so much, man. The party. Coming back, like, getting a little bit of healing to be safe. I'm assuming, Elle, you're, like, kneeling by Ismini,
Yep.
right?
I've got a potion, I'm fine.
You watch Ismini pull Squawk's necklace out, form him, and whisper before sending him into the portal. I'm gonna pull something out that you guys don't need to. I'm just gonna show vaguely. This is mainly for my party members. You watch a moment later through Squawk's eyes as he bursts through the portal to see a darkened alley somewhere else in the city. You see a beautiful fountain, a bit forgotten, if anything. A bit of damage to it, but at some point, a true masterwork of stonework. But you also see...
Boros comes back.
Huh?
Boros comes back.
Oh, because
Okay.
he's there.
He's gonna appear right in Frhagar's lap.
Vigor's going,
No. If Boris is coming back, there's not going to be time. Boris is very strong. You're fine. We don't have to roll this one out. Frhagar and Thalia are going to take a little while.
Yeah.
That's the important thing. Thank you for telling me.
I went down, so
Yes.
it hasn't been a minute since the fight started.
It means I can't have Frhagar start sprinting right now, is why I needed to know that. Seeing in this darkened alleyway, you see a few
Has
things.
it been a minute? Hasn't been enough rounds.
No.
Okay, he's back.
It's like 3 or 4 rounds.
We got to
7,
6.
I think? Is you count that this last one.
Counting last round 7 because of I have to count.
Oh, and you went down
first.
before.
I went down at 6, which
Yeah.
would have been the last
And
round
you
I
need
needed
10.
to. Yeah.
Because 10 is a minute, not
Got pretty
6.
close.
Right.
That's not bad. Yeah, it was a long fight.
Yeah.
Well for a
Speedy,
wizard.
You burst through this portal, but on this side, instead of seeing the large, semi-opaque ring followed by the sight of the alleyway, on this side, there's barely any light at all. Looking quickly, Squawk, looking around, sees that you're actually almost 1,000 feet away. The spell has been augmented with the distance meta magic. As you're looking through here, you see there are several people standing, spears at the ready, where you just came out of, but you do not notice the small bird flutter up into a nearby building. You see in front of you Tavrith holding his shoulder, injured from where Thorn fired so many bolts into one small spot. He sighs, turns to Nal Byron, the wizard, sorcerer as you now know.
Bring the beasts. Have them hold our escape.
And you watch as the mage nods, pulls the silver staff out, and strikes his hand against it. Though it looks smooth in appearance, you watch as his palm is severed, blood spilling onto the steps. Blood moves forward before separating into 3 distinct ovals on the ground, and rising from them 3 blue fiends. Spiked horns, horrible red eyes, and cute little green vests. That's more me. I'm gonna go ahead and give these. I've been having fun passing around these bastards. You see these creatures stand, and in Abyssal, which you speak, you hear Nal Byron instruct them, guard this portal. Then cease. Tavrith, getting some medical attention from one of the other people who seem to have been lying here in wait. This looks like some sort of extraction. Is handed a large cloak. Hunches over as best he can and begins walking out into one of the streets. They begin dispersing. Are you doing anything during this? This is all going to take like 30 seconds to a minute.
No, I'm trying to gather as much information. I'm trying to absorb as much as I possibly can.
You see Tendry removing a good portion of his upper body armor here, taking out from one of these nearby sacks that have been discarded in the alleyway, and you see he pulls out what looks to be an apron like a blacksmith would wear, covering up most of his wounds. He's mucking up his hair, tapping his face with a bit of mud to look like a dirty dwarven smith.
I realize, like, we're hearing Ismini relay this through Squawk's eyes. You know?
Ismini can be speaking if you want to be.
Can I ask, what does Tendry's face look like? Is there any guilt or surprise or anything, or has he? I just want to curious. Has he been genuinely playing us the whole time?
Ismini, do you want to make an insight check?
Sure.
I'll let you go back and forth. It's kind of fine.
A natural 20 for a 26.
To most, this dwarf's face would be stone, but you're not most people. You watch a man gritting his teeth. Through Squawk's ears, you hear the sound of the stone-like teeth in his mouth, grinding together, bits of chips breaking off as this man there's so much tension here. This is a man conflicted. But he's made a decision, and how do you come back from it? Tendry steps over to the side, begins walking on out. He looks like some of the men go over and begin loading themselves up into a cart to just make their way through the city streets. The biggest thing that I want to give you from here, Tavrith was genuinely hurt. Once that rage, that bloodlust he had on him wore off, he seems to have a lot less of that stamina. Looking around, Nal Byron waits. After about a minute has passed, and the portal dissipates from y'all's point of view, he sighs a huge sigh of relief. All right, enough. Return to whatever hole you've come from. And at that moment, you watch as the 3 fiends, these blue creatures you've seen before, begin to melt away until they're not, but specks of blood on the ground once more. Now Byron looks exhausted. You watch as he hunches over like a man far older than he is. Drawing his cloak in close, he begins walking through the streets of the Runehold. What are you all doing?
I'm attempting to get up to my feet and go see if there's anything that needs to be cleaned up. If there's any more riffraff I need to kill.
Do you need maybe take a break?
I push past Elle.
5 minutes even?
No, it's not 5 minutes in war.
Maya's gonna go start stabilizing people that she can.
Let's go check on Jam. And also apologize to Thorn for leaving his body on
I'm
the
gonna
floor
get
right
the
past it.
gate open.
It takes some finagling, but at one point you just are you willing to break it?
Yeah.
Like
I don't-
trying to work on it before pulling back and Eldritch Blast destroying the mechanism. The counterweight just falls up and the door comes back up.
Ta-da.
As you open up, you just see standing like the fine entry you originally came in through. You see a man on a horse, big regalia, plume at the top of his helmet, 2 rows of a dozen men each holding spears, and he goes, "Men!" and he like points it forwards at you as you're standing there. What do you do? These are knights and soldiers of Issel.
You're late.
Drop your weapon.
I don't have a weapon in my hand.
Oh, sorry. You said you cast a spell and you normally.
No, yeah, true. But
Okay.
I didn't have it in my hand.
So you going, I don't have a weapon. I am the weapon.
I have a weapon.
A little bit of explanation
all
happens
in
as
here.
these soldiers begin filing in, protecting. You see, for a lot of these folks, they are quickly the Issel nobility are taken off by these soldiers, get them out of here, separate people, get them away from what's going on here. I would say the next hour is very tense, wouldn't you all?
Oh yeah.
We're all very injured.
You're all very injured. My
And what about the number of dead nobles that are...
Right, how many?
Wait, is Colt
Nicole.
amongst the bodies and the living, you do not find Cole of the Virewood.
Did we hallucinate that out of stress?
Yes.
About a thing that hadn't even happened yet? We like stress imagined him and I don't.
Yes, yes, we did.
Well,
Never a dull day here
You
on the
just-
continent of Grin.
Next time we fight him, it just needs to be on like marble or ice because there's no way he gets good traction with those hooves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be all slippery.
And with psychic attacks.
When I know what spell I just learned this level that I did not get to prepare.
Psychic lance.
Old monster.
Mm.
I learned Scorching
I tried
Ray 'cause
using
I felt
psychic
left
lance
out.
on him, but he saved. So
The rest of y'all have Scorching Ray.
Scorching Ray is very fun.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to join in on the party.
why not?
I got Scorching Ray.
Oh,
So.
good.
you're in luck. That among the dead are very
Power
few
spell.
individuals you know.
That doesn't matter. This was a
Roughly,
disaster.
due to your efforts, roughly 1/4 of the nobility perished, rather than much more.
Is it concentrated among any nation?
As you're kind of trying to looking things over, trying to see what's going on, kind of, I think so. The Sanctum Room, as a reminder, is kind of like a
Wait,
bowl shape.
Let me rephrase. Any summer elves?
Duke Edmund Alabaster survived,
Okay.
as did his wife, who's quite a. You can see her from across. She came in after the fact, because wasn't at the party itself, and is certainly fawning over her husband. The two of they're both elves. They've probably been together a while because they're older elves.
Mhm.
He has wrinkles. Wild.
It's like a little uncanny valley. It's disturbing.
Looking around, you see there is another cleric who is patching up Kryvar, who seems to have had some sort of injury in one of his arms, but is still alive. Thank you. As you're kind of looking over things, I think, would you guys want to, if you guys had the opportunity, there's a little raised section to kind of look over things. Is that okay?
Mhm.
As you're kind of standing here on the outer ring of the room, this raised section originally has these chairs where the sanctum sits. There's a council room, essentially, that meets with people who come and state their grievances. A man approaches, a dwarven man, large blackened tattoos all the way down his arm. Vobril. The room is relatively loud at points with all the voices, but there's no one's excited. The merriment has long since died out here. We ought to talk. There's a damn travesty.
Do you know what's going on?
A bit, but I get in touch with some folks to find out more.
I'd imagine with your credentials, you probably know enough about what just happened.
I have some ideas. Though I don't think they'll take too kindly to Eltsians foiling their plans.
Eltians in particular?
Well, we did some good work out there.
Two of us are from Chalcedonia.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter. He doesn't care.
Doesn't really matter here when you're here representing the princess.
Yeah,
That's
she's
true.
She's screwed.
Well, we'll have more information when we get back.
We're gonna need a different route home.
So you're coming with us?
Well, I've got quick travels, though. No idea what Miss Callister has cooked up. Oh,
Not a lot.
I thought you... Take the evening. I don't think the tournament's going to finish.
Yeah, neither do I.
I can't imagine it would.
By my count, about half the champions are dead. So,
Dead or
Or
traitors.
traitors.
yeah. They got Boros in custody.
Rena?
Yeah, the elf's still up.
I'd like to have her extradited to the Summer Elves.
She's one of
They
ours.
don't take
Let me pull some
kind.
strings, see what I can do.
They don't take kindly to their own turning on.
She'll be dealt with.
We'll take her and see what the Lionheart can get out of her.
Yeah. I figure. Boy! I knew it! I caught it so long ago!
Okay, I know. You're very proud of yourself, Victoria. Just to clarify, as he kind of turns and looks to you, it kind of, as his meaty smile kind of begins dawning on you, looking at his features, looking at, listening to how he talks. This man is Bestellus.
I literally wrote my notes. I guess Vorbril isn't Stella. I leaned over and whispered it to Victoria.
You haven't been able to convince me otherwise.
No, I know. I watched
Your
this fight happen.
campaign.
I think the compilation goes here.
I mean, going
They
on.
pick it up really quickly, but Thorn's like 2 or 3 beats behind. He's just like,
Yeah. I can
Hey.
You conked your head pretty hard.
I can get
Maya's very confused because y'all have not introduced
Um,
or
Mai
explained this.
joined us recently. You'll meet them.
I trust them, they trust you. I don't need much more than that.
I can get
Fair
us
enough.
all princess and king included back to Elts tomorrow.
King's already gone.
King's already gone. Then I can get us and the princess back. I'll just say you're here
Convenient. It'd take a little longer for my contact to get here, but
Do y'all know who Whitaker Thor's master is?
no, we've worked. He kind of gestures to like go a little further away from folks.
Yeah, trying to keep a secret.
We've worked with Whitaker a couple of times. It's been good work. Helped a lot of people. Honestly,
So tell me why we all just happened to, on his recommendation, take something that makes us immune to poison. The day before this happens.
gave you a tonic of a periaptive poison
feast.
resistance.
Hero's Feast.
There's a lot of reasons you'd have a hero's feast for this. You're not the only ones here who did.
Or it's if you know something's coming and you want certain people to come out. It's
It's true.
tournament's an easy way to.
You think he was involved?
I don't know if he was involved, but I think he has.
Something
He-
doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
He knew that we had like his note. He knew something about the tournament beforehand.
His machinations are a little bit too neat.
Yeah. I'm not saying that we can't trust
Fighting.
him. I'm saying it's weird.
If he's a problem, I'll tell you that fighting diviners is not pleasant.
You've met him, Thorin. What? Did he seem suspicious at all?
he just gave me a place to go, gave me a little note. It was honestly like a wild goose chase trying to find that stupid
Well, the time you talked to him.
No, because you got
When you
meet
talk to
us.
him in person.
Listen, looks like the princess over there is waking up. You might want to take a moment with that.
Yeah, I'll head out.
Ismini, if you trust Ma, there's no need for covering her vision or anything. But I actually would prefer. And he actually pulls out a bit of parchment and begins writing a series of runes. He's giving you instructions on a place to go.
Okay.
If you're willing to. You don't have to. He kind of clarifies, like, I think this is a safer thing to do.
Okay, yeah.
It's where we go to hide.
Okay. Would you...
He gives you the runes for the teleportation circle.
Jam too?
Underneath... What?
Jam too for this?
Yeah, assuming you're bringing her with you. You can cover her eyes if you think it's going to be a problem, or it's your choice if you want to trust her. He's Vobril, or Bacelis, is putting his trust in you.
We'll be covering Jam's eyes just so that she doesn't have to worry about one more thing.
Okay.
Plausible deniability.
I think we should offer her a choice. If the majority of us, 2 out of the 4 of us feel one
It
sided.
actually might be better. Put her in a bit of a compromising position.
Right. It would be... She'd be the worst
The
person.
circle's beneath Walt Behringer's estate.
Oh.
Mm.
Okay, we'll cover our eyes.
It'll be a little awkward.
But I'll explain to her why. To a certain extent.
With that, you begin making your plans to head out in the morning. Thorn and Ismini are incredibly hurt.
I'll have to prepare a teleportation
Back
circle.
with 7 hit points.
Got like a big old goose egg on my head.
Yeah, 3 of us are very injured.
Yeah. How close do you get mine?
I got bloodied, but just like right at bloody.
I
Fighters.
went from healthy
Fighter clerics.
to dead in a turn.
I have over 100 health. No,
Yeah.
I reached triple digits finally.
I'm almost at triple.
Everyone got
digits.
hurt this time? We get hurt? Okay,
I lost-
great.
You got me back for all the
89 points of damage, at least.
shit talking I do.
We're like 92, because I went slightly below 0.
It feels good, by the way. Meta thing for a moment, we'll get back into the fiction. It feels really good having extra battle mats we don't need. There's options. Elle, do you want to check in with Jam? You can see that Jam's been brought over to one of the soft, sofas, essentially, that is on one of the far sides of the room. And you see that there is an Eltsian soldier who's standing here. You've seen this person around. You're familiar. You've interacted with them briefly as you've gone through the heroes' encampment here. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I'll give you privacy as best I can. And he steps aside and just kind of ushering folks to, leave the princess be. Don't crowd someone as they're waking up.
Also trying to make sure that, she's not in straight line sight of, gore.
That's really fair because
Yeah.
they've been carting out the dead.
Yeah. Maybe interpose a little bit.
You see that
She
now
has
that
Amicare at least.
she does have an Amicare to help with her dreams, but as she awakens, you know that they provided some treatment, including lesser restorations for the poison.
Mm-hmm.
Clerics are awesome.
Yeah.
Is everyone are the smiles okay?
We're all okay. We barely made it. It was... Thorn went down, Ismini went down, I went down, but Mai had us all up in no time. I'm sorry that this was your first tournament.
It was in the ale.
Got everyone.
You don't understand. So many of them were dwarves. My father told me about... Dwarves are normally resistant. They have natural immunities to all of these things, and there are poisons made just for them. They're harmless to you and me.
They came
Most of the
prepared.
fallen are... This could bring so much war.
We won't let it. And the blades won't either.
We have to return to Eltz.
We've worked
Figure out what's next.
It's not going to be safe, Jim. It's not going to be safe to go back the way originally planned.
I've had enough adventure for the evening.
We're going to leave in the morning. But I need to ask you to trust us.
Of course.
The route we're going to take home, you're going to have to wear a blindfold.
Okay.
Is that all right? I don't-
trust you.
Okay. I don't like keeping secrets, and
She's gonna reach forward and try to grab your hand.
I won't
Gently.
let her take it.
And are you okay? I know you're here, but are you okay?
It could have gotten us all. It wasn't strong enough. It's another fight for another day, right?
Did he get what he wanted?
We didn't let him. Because I think what he wanted was Sigurd dead, the blade's dead. We
Archmage
died.
Star's blood died.
But he died. The heroes that died here.
She's gonna cover her. She's gonna like kind of grab at some of your
Yeah.
shirt or dress or whatever kind of finery you're wearing, and just kind of bury her face in it for a bit, because she's still like sitting, you're
Yeah.
standing.
Really horrible things happen all the time. And all we can do is prevent them. And just not again.
With the bit of muffled cries of the princess
I will
into
give
your
her a big
dress. Oh,
We'll both cry.
have a bit of a cry in the corner here. Let's kind of pull out for this evening
I can get us back to Elth tonight.
the Champions Feast. You have the slot.
No, I have a fifth level. I have a fifth level
If
spell
the slot, you can swap it.
and I can swap it because it's a conjuration spell. Thorn, go get Ralnor, or we can go back to the tent.
Also, you can just
Go-
you
go
can
grab
gather
our
everything
stuff.
you need and assume everything else is going to come back in its timely manner on a
Yeah,
horse.
we need Ralnor though.
We don't want to.
It is swift in the night.
If the
We run back to
Elsian soldiers need us, they'll find us.
Yeah, we'll run
We're
back
gonna-
to the
we're gonna-
tent.
is it-
and
are
we'll-
you? If you guys are okay with jumping through things, the king is too busy. But kind words are like words are being like the king was poisoned. Not going to be allowed to see random people. Like make sure he's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually going to be Thalia who's going to be the person who comes up to you, gets information from you, asks what you saw. You need to leave.
Yeah, I explained what I saw as they left as well. How he summoned the demon. I tell them everything I saw and heard.
The tournament's over.
Yeah.
Of course.
There can be talk of prizes or reward or whatever at a future day, but take your princess to be safe. The last thing we want is to allow anyone else to be endangered. And I will have my hands full making sure that Sigurd is safe. What you've done, I owe you a great debt. But my first and only duty is to ensure that King Sigurd's safety.
Of course.
As
This
as our king currently as well, we understand, and believe
You-
that's important.
you've heard. Soon he'll. The intent was for him to give up his crown, but with this, I'm not sure what will happen to the plan for the sanctum.
It's not the right timing.
I will send word as quickly as I can. Thank you. Tend to her. This one's barely standing on 2 feet.
All of them are, yeah.
I'm still bleeding out.
I have to imagine that we're all swaying as we talk with the combination of
You
exhaustion.
hear off in the distance the sound of Gythrax calling out for Thalia, and she's like, "I'm sorry, there are many people to deal with.
Yeah.
Travel
I-
safe."
I am positive that I'm immodest at this point, like holding everything together, because I got hit for 51.
You guys are gonna plan on how to fight this guy, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh no! What was
I already
that?
know what I should have done.
Which is?
I
Nina?
should have gone and focused on the wizard.
The wizard.
I should have followed Tindri.
It's so clever.
Oh.
They had a big They had a big scary guy.
They had a distraction.
They could just, it was a meat shield.
Yeah.
Of course.
As we say in
Yeah.
wargaming
Guardian
terms,
and everything.
distraction
Distraction
carnifex.
Carnifex!
Yeah, we
Yeah.
use the distraction carnifex for sure.
I mean, distraction Carnifex with 4 attacks.
well, yeah, that hurt.
Who could kill a lot of nobles if we weren't focusing on him.
And we already said that we wanted extra. Like, Rena's going to the House of Summer, right?
If you want to, I would do.
If we can, but it's okay
Yeah.
if it doesn't happen.
I think she should be extradited.
Over the course of the evening, I would say that that L. So L is in a much better physical condition than Ismini is. Sorry, Ismini, you nearly died.
Yeah.
Three of the 4 of you nearly died, but like Ismini came the closest. L, do you want to use some clout and go speak with Duke Edmund? Make sure this happens.
Yeah.
The Duke has Sigurd's ear, and we'll make sure that Rena goes to the House of Summer.
Rena came intending to strike me down entirely. It's a
There's no debt for this. She's a child of summer. She'll be dealt with by the Lady of Summer.
thank you.
Let's hope it's a warm one.
Scorching.
You take some time gathering your things, making your way with Jam, who does ask to stay in the closed carriage as you go and gather the things from the tent. You don't plan on bringing everything from the tent here.
Right.
They'll
It's
send
going to
some
be
back,
handled
yeah.
for you. Or you could blip back in 2 days if you felt like
Our
it.
weapons, our armor.
Yes, all of your equipment, all of the things that would go on your sheet, essentially. Meaning, have you cast this spell before?
I've never cast this.
Do you
spell.
want to describe? You want to paint me some word picture of what this looks like?
Yeah. So.
Oh, first you have to swap it. Just give me this whole deal.
I've got
What's
I've got the Atlas of Endless Horizons out in front of me. I am flipping carefully back and forth between pages, taking notes on an extra sheet. Just spending a minute, because it only takes a minute to do, but spending a minute just like gathering what I know and trying to focus all my attention onto this new spell that I've never cast before, that it just has been available to me.
As you're going gathering this new spell into your mind, it's honestly at points hard to avoid the distractions. You think about the 5th Blade of Issel, Archmage Salen Star's Blood, is dead. A Blade of the Vorox died in there. Queen Gimdra Ugg Thum lays dead.
Again.
2 for 2
2 for 2.
on.
Or 0 for 2 for us, really.
0 for 2, yeah.
Thirard lives, but how many other dwarven lords perished?
Yeah, and then I take out the most expensive inks and chalks you've ever seen. It's like, you know how you get like paint bottles and they have a little ball bearing in them to help shake them? Like it's just, everything has got gems in them, things are rattling, things are noisy. I'm over here drawing circles, taking the sheet that I got, because you can learn new runes, you can cast them if you see them, but drawing this out, carefully scribing it in the center of this tent so that Jam doesn't have to go back outside. Drawing it carefully. Just taking my time, physically creating this large circle.
Jam takes a bit of, with Elle's help, I would say, you take a bit of fabric folded over and are able to make a small blindfold for the princess.
I do the
She's not wearing a fancy dress today.
I do the appropriate waving, trying for a bit of levity. Nothing. It's fine. Loose wind of the blindfold works.
Real little poke, see if
We're
she
doing some
anticipates it.
We're doing some blood magic over here while I'm dripping blood all over
Goes
the...
over while we're like poking the princess.
Oh, I just meant that I'm bleeding all over the circle.
Can you let us stitch you a little bit?
We're good.
Pour a potion down your throat.
It is.
Put on a cloak.
It is at this point that the Defiant Smiles suddenly find themselves shunted out of this part of the material plane and find themselves reappearing in the city of Eltz. It's almost like taking a single step forward. There's a small bump, but you don't feel until you feel the suddenly dry air of the cellar you find yourself within, this underground area, not a true cellar. We're going to end our session here with the Defiant Smiles and the blindfolded Princess Josephine. Can I actually have the spooky music back, Alex, please? The Defiant Smiles stepping within
this sanctum, this hidden refuge for the Lionheart and Bastellus. It is here they shall return to Eltz when we come back in just a few weeks. And it is here, in the city of Eltz, very soon, that they shall face off with Tavrith once more. I don't ever tell things beforehand. The air is cold. But there's determination in it. That's where we're going to end tonight. Thank you, Alex. Sorry, I wanted to just mention, we don't normally... Good job,
Right.
everybody. We don't normally talk about things beforehand, but... Can I have my Tavrith mini?
Oh, Tavrith?
Yeah.
We're really facing off against his wizard friend.
You've got to figure... This is a puzzle for you to solve. I want to see a clip one day where Clella says, "We've solved your Minotaur puzzle."
Yeah, I'm gonna break his horns over my knee.
Left wall strats.
Oh, I can do those.
Yeah.
Oh, we could lock him in a labyrinth. That is an option.
You know my entire plan for my lair.
Oh my gosh!
It was that!
If we had just let Ismini finish the basement, we would have no problem. We would like finally it really brings
I
the
have
world
a
together.
Minotaur in my wizard's domain.
It feels like a hate
underground.
crime to put a Minotaur into a labyrinth. I'm just saying. It feels offensive.
We have a big. We can find another big bowl. We have a Minotaur,
You have a Minotaur.
and we would have like a whole Greco-Roman puzzle.
I'm his
Yes.
meanie. Does anybody? My
really-
name.
Yeah.
Though the Tournament of Blades was cut short, I really want to take a moment and just say how fantastic each of you did during it.
To wait 5 full years for the next one. Eldrick's about to be like 2% sad about the tournament not finishing.
I was like, I can't believe
I
we're
got so
taking
close.
a break for 2 weeks when we're gonna have to wait to do our one-on-one fight.
Gotcha.
I literally was like, I don't know how Matthew's gonna handle this. Maybe we'll go through them really fast, and they should prepare. No,
Oh, I prepped them
in case we killed.
in case you killed Tavrith.
Oh, was there a? Can I ask?
Yeah.
Was there a plan if we managed to kill Tabrith and the wizard? Sorcerer?
Yes.
Also,
I was complaining about this to Alex over Discord. It's like, man, I'm really prepping 2 whole arcs based on how this goes.
win or we lose.
How much health did you have left?
There's
If I can ask that.
I can tell you that Tavrith had over... I'm not saying this is a close number, but he had over 100 hit points left.
That's fine.
Oh.
I could have gone.
Over 100 could be 101 or 199.
Yeah, those are 2 numbers it could be.
It could also be 300 because 300 is over
I'll tell you this,
100.
he did not have 300 health left. The important thing to note, Connor, is actually, I guess I don't mind telling you too much. He had roughly 150 hit points remaining.
That's scary.
I feel like it could have died if we hadn't died. If I had
Yeah.
like 100 extra points of health.
There are... I ran the battle 3 times.
There was a way for us to win.
You guys got it once, but...
Did one of us die?
Thorn. I did kill Thorn on the test. That's how this is. You know what? Hey, you're here still. We're doing a mini footnotes thing for 5 seconds here. Yeah. Sometimes for big boss battles, when they're really outside of the challenge rating curve or really homebrewed, I'll just run the fight. I will be like, "Cool, I'm you guys." I don't roll every single die. I use average damage. So I just like look at your sheets. How much does your sword do with a weapon burst on? He's tough. And you guys kicked
16.
ass.
Not every
Oh, yeah.
dwarf with a southern drawl is
2d8
Vobral,
plus
Victoria.
Yes, you do know the identity of Bastellus now.
I wonder
Everyone's
who
like,
freaking
"Not
Lionheart
anymore."
is. So bad. We're not gonna know him. He's just gonna be like a dude.
It's just Thalen.
It's actually Glove
The way this is going, it's Thalen.
It's Thalen, and we're gonna be like, hey.
Yeah, we're in his basement right now.
I told you guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
Walt Barrington.
Oh! I thought he just had access to his basement.
Guys, he's Batman.
they're friends with him. That's cool.
I was like, just gonna let you speculate because I'm like, I'm
What is
pretty
happening
sure.
right now?
it's-
We
Well-
fell for Brucey Wayne.
I'm sorry because I didn't hear Behringer and even wrote Behringer, but I heard the guy we stole from. Like he just had access to his basement.
I was like, yeah, it's really
No,
bad.
guys, you went to the Bat Cave.
Behringer is Shar, right? Like that's
Yeah, this is the Shar guy.
Remember how
I don't like him.
I like him a
I
lot.
was just so convinced he was very bad. Maybe he is.
Shar? I have beef with Shar. Historical beef.
Every person has to have, like, every god has to be represented. He doesn't have to worship the god.
Wait, does that mean someone represents a traitor? Or is
Yes.
Yes.
And no one represents the Pale Lady. Because she's been forgotten because she's the false
Because you got
Hydra.
eaten by the because you got eaten by the false Hydra.
Or she is the false Hydra.
I know.
Well, we've been Stories of D4, and this has been a story I'm honestly very excited about. We're taking 2 weeks off, but when we come back, we're going to continue both these adventures and some new ones. Good night, everyone.
No.
Yes.